The Spirit are set to take the ice. But first, get all the game day information you need. It's time for Countdown to Face-Off on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey, WSGW.
It's the final Saginaw Spirit hockey game of 2025, and the countdown is on as the Spirit travel to Windsor for a New Year's Eve meeting with the Spitfires. Good afternoon, everybody. Jonathan Dent here in the Stormmaster Exterior Studios. Dylan Clark is standing by in the Town Place Suites by Marriott broadcast booth. We'll head over there soon as Saginaw riding a 3-game win streak that started before the holiday break. And they'll be looking to make it 4 in a row after a win over the West Division opponent in the Sarnia Sting last night on home ice. It was only the first matchup between the Spirit and the Sting coming this late in the season, and there were some stellar saves on both sides of the ice before Saginaw struck first with only 30 seconds left in the first period. Levi Harper sent Brody Papoy down the ice. He passed off to Jacob Cloutier all alone on the right side, and he did not miss to light the lamp 1-0.
The rebound picked up by Levi Harper, moved to Brody Papoy. Chances opening up at the end of the period. Here's Cloutier. He scores! Up over the glove of Millette. 29.1 in the first, and the Spirit break through.
Sarnia got it back in the second, and thanks to both goalies holding off some dangerous chances, the game remained tied at the start of the third. Just a couple minutes in, Carson Harmer led a zone entry. Brody Papoy regained control of a wayward puck, and he set a shot over the shoulder of the Sarnia netminder to regain the lead.
Into the offensive zone, dropped off. Papoy looking for a lane, tried to manufacture one, still has the puck, takes a shot, he scores! Brody Papoy through traffic, Saginaw steps back in front, it's 2-1.
The floodgates opened for the Spirit in the third period. After that, Sebastian Gervais banged home a rebound on the doorstep off a shot from James Go at 6 minutes 30 seconds to extend that lead to 2-1.
Now to the right point, James Go tries to open things up, shifts into the circle, Go right to the net, gets a shot up, save made by Millette, the rebound chance, Gervais buries it.
Just over 90 seconds after that, Nikita Klepov collected a rebound off a shot from Barabanov before turning around and sending it top shelf to make it 4-1.
Center point, no lane, shot to the net, knocked down. Bart's trying to remove Wallows from the puck, and here's Nikita Klepov into the circle, cuts in, and he scores off the crossbar.
2 minutes after that, a 3-on-2 saw a pass from Graydon Jones overshoot Cloutier at the net front, but Carson Harmer added another black mark to the crossbar and scored to close out a 5-1 win.
Now for Graydon Jones down the wing. Puts it back in front, looking for Cloutier. Found Harmer instead! He finds the crossbar, then the back of the net, and it's 5-1.
Today, the Spirit travel to Windsor to take on another West Division opponent in the Spitfires. Despite being well behind Windsor in the standings, Saginaw has taken 3 out of the first 4 games of this season's series so far. Most recently, late November, when Saginaw's Stepan Shurigan protected a 2-0 lead until just over a minute remained in regulation, kept the rest out in a 31-save performance. He'll be out tonight as Caleb Papineau steps in between the pipes. Shurigan coming off of a 27-save night last night. The Spits are making their way through the division with a win against the Sioux before the break, then a victory against the conference-leading Flint Firebirds on Sunday. Both teams are enjoying some success here and would love to ring in the new year with a W. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Dylan talks with Spirit head coach Chris Lazary about last night's win, the game ahead, some players to watch, and more in Coach's Corner. This is Saginaw Spirit Countdown to Face-Off on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Garber is your local Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer. Family owned, locally trusted. And we're more than the place you buy your vehicle. We're where your vehicle is serviced by factory-trained technicians with the highest standards. We have everything you need, even tires. Get it all at your local Jeep and Ram dealer. Garber, Bay Road, Saginaw. Online 24/7 at GarberCDJR.com.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
Too many people end up in the retirement penalty box, paying more in taxes, missing out on healthcare options, or skating without a plan. At McIntosh & Associates, we help keep your game sharp with clear, personalized retirement strategies. Let's build a plan that works in every period of life. Call 989-692-2200 or visit wealthmichigan.com. McIntosh & Associates. Retirement made clear.
Now, get inside analysis directly from the Spirit coaching staff. This is Coach's Corner.
Spirit back in action on this Wednesday night. Coach's Corner joined again by Spirit head coach Chris Lazary. And Coach, a 5-1 final last night, but it was tight early on. Just how much did you enjoy watching your team in a close game for the first 40 minutes?
Yeah, like I thought tight because that goalie made a ton of saves, not tight because they were doing much to us. Like I thought their goalie made a ton of saves. We had a ton of great A's. Like we went back on our internal scoring chances, like one of the best games we've had in those metrics. And then in the third, like they start to go in for us. And we blow the doors off a little bit there in the third period. But a good game. Like they're obviously a good team. They have some good defensive things they do, and they kept it tight. But I really liked our game, like in so many areas with and without the puck. It's been a handful of games in a row now. We felt that way, and the challenge would be, can we get that here today in Windsor?
How much of a boost was it to see Blake Barnes step up and kind of have the back of Igor Barabanov after a questionable hit, and how much did that get guys going on the bench?
Well, you can tell that guy doesn't fight a lot because he had 2, 5, and a 10 for an instigator. And when we came in the intermission, he was in his towel. He's taking his equipment off. He had a full shower. He thought he was thrown out of the game. So it just tells you how uncharacteristic it was for him to do that in that moment. But, you know, obviously Barabanov is one of the top 5 guys in league scoring. He gets run from behind. I'm surprised they didn't review it for a 5, but in comes Barney, clocks him with a good right hook there, and away they go. And I thought that was a big moment for him. Like finding confidence for him too, like that he can do that and he's going to be okay. I think will allow him to have some aggression to his game, which I think sometimes lacks, but getting that into him with everything he's doing development wise, like that was a big moment for him.
Jacob Kluche, a couple of points in last night's game, big part of that second line, and he's got points in 5 straight right now. Can you kind of see a tangible boost in his confidence in the way that he's been trending recently?
Yeah, like his numbers this year, he's probably be the first guy to say he's disappointed. His game hasn't been bad. Like we're really just focused on him, like to work away from the puck in terms of skating and winning races. And if you watch that goal, like it's a great job. We get pucks inside the dots with Peps. Harms does a good job working over to be the dot driver, which pulls one of their players and opens up the weak side of the ice. But the key there is like Kluch a lot of the times this year showing him video where he's just coasting, watching what's going on away from the puck. He's got to work away from the puck. He did that. Gets himself free, so when he gets that pass, he's home alone. And then his shot, he's had a lot of good looks this year where he hit post, but he finally hit his shot, and it's a goal. And it's good to see him start heating up. Shocker, he's putting up points and we're winning. Like those two things go hand in hand.
And this series against Windsor, you guys have picked up 3 wins out of 4 games. What have you seen consistently? What is it about this matchup that you guys have put the pieces together so well?
Well, I think like the way we play in the offensive zone causes them fits a little bit. They're a good team. Like I think special teams wise, our kills have been pretty good against Windsor, keeping them off the board. Like their power play for the last couple of years has been deadly. For whatever reason, there's teams in the league that like you match up well. I always feel like, yeah, on paper they have a deep team, but the way we play just matches up well against them. In the last couple of years, if you look at the results head to head, it shows that. But they're missing a couple key guys here today. We've got to take advantage of that.
Coach, thanks again. Good luck today. That's Chris Lazary, Saginaw in Windsor, closing out the year. Back after this on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
If you're a homeowner, you have plenty to think about, like cleaning the gutters, investigating that banging noise, deciding which flowers to plant this year. One thing about being a homeowner you can think less about, questions about home insurance when you have State Farm. Your local State Farm agent is there to help you understand your coverage options and choose the protection that meets your needs, so you can focus on your home, and we'll focus on helping protect it.
Contact State Farm agent Scott Seaman to create your personal price plan today.
Yeah, I know. It's officially still winter out there, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun in the sun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea knows how to turn up your day drinking fun all year long. I mean, there's even a sun on those bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea is made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol, which goes down smooth. So whether you're knee-deep in snow or making footprints in the sand, be sure to look for Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. We're Durolast. We make the world's best roof. As one of the country's largest roofing manufacturers, we have locations across North America. But for more than 40 years, Saginaw has been our home. Like Saginaw, Durolast has a can-do, never-quit attitude. And just like Saginaw, our people make us strong. Innovative, resilient. That's the spirit of Saginaw. That's Durolast, the world's best roof.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW, Carlton, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland.
Well, the calendar is just about ready to turn to 2026, but for the Saginaw Spirit, they might not be so ready to say goodbye to 2025 because they have found some really strong hockey here over the last couple of weeks. Hi, everybody. My name's Dylan Clark. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon from the WFCU Center in Windsor. It is the fifth meeting this season between the Spirit and the Spitfires. They've had good luck against Windsor this year, 3-1 in the season series. They've had good luck recently. They went into the holiday break with a win, and they've won their first two games coming out of it. Most recently, a 5-1 victory yesterday at the Dow Event Center over the Sarnia Sting. So, trending in a positive direction, can the Spirit win 4 straight hockey games for the first time this season? We'll take a look at our starting lineups for today's game, brought to you by Saginaw Valley State University. The Spirit currently sit in 8th place in the Western Conference, 12 victories on the season. The Windsor Spitfires, 3rd place in the West, 23 wins. They are one of the tougher opponents you're going to find. And they're going to start with Ethan Belchez, a top prospect for this year's NHL draft. 34 points on the season. He's on the left side with Jack Nesbitt, the Philadelphia Flyers first-rounder at center. Anthony Cristofaro, the defenseman, has hopped up onto the right wing. We'll talk about that more as the game goes on. On defense, the Spitfires go with Connor Walton and Wyatt Kennedy, a couple of big bodies on the blue line. For Chris Lazary and the Saginaw Spirit, you might not be surprised. Dimas Jokin on the left side with Igor Barabanov and Nikita Klepov. That line has been instrumental to Saginaw's success this season. They go with Josh Glavin and Hayden Bartz on the back end. Your starting lineups for today's game, brought to you by Saginaw Valley State University. 5th matchup out of 8 between the Spirit and the Spitfires. Last one before the calendar flips to 2026. And before we drop the puck on this one, Jonathan has your out-of-town scores back in the studio.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Out-of-town scores today brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Lots of action here on a New Year's Eve around the OHL, but it's kind of spread out across different start times. Earlier on this afternoon, the Kitchener Rangers dropped the puck against the North Bay Battalion. They're just a few minutes into the second period there. The Battalion started out the scoring about halfway through the first, but 2 goals within 3 minutes from the Rangers have them out to a 2-1 lead. A game between the Owen Sound Attack and the Brampton Steelheads has been postponed due to weather. They'll be rescheduling that one. The Guelph Storm set to face off against the Kingston Frontenacs alongside us here at 2 o'clock this afternoon. A little bit later on at 4, the London Knights host the Sarnia Sting, Saginaw's opponent from last night. The Flint Firebirds also visiting the Sioux Greyhounds in some West Division action. Those are the two previous opponents of the Windsor Spitfires, who they were able to defeat most recently. The Brantford Bulldogs visit the Erie Otters at 6 o'clock. Also at 6, the Niagara Ice Dogs hosting the Oshawa Generals. And then as late as 7:30 here, the Sudbury Wolves visiting the Barrie Colts here on New Year's Eve. We'll take one more break. When we come back, it's puck drop between the Saginaw Spirit and Windsor Spitfires here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
Get it all at Garber Chevrolet Saginaw. It's more than just better prices. It's better financing, better selection, and a better overall experience. Our expert technicians are factory trained to the highest standards, keeping your vehicle in top condition. And we have everything for your automotive needs, even tires. Get to Garber Chevy Saginaw today and see how you get it all at Garber, Gratiot Road, Saginaw. Online, GarberChevroletSaginaw.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Did you know the University of Michigan Flint is the fastest growing public university in the state? How do we do it? Access to top-ranked degree programs and one of the largest alumni networks. Access to small class sizes with renowned U of M professors. And access to the Go Blue free tuition guarantee. Because sometimes in life where you're going depends on where you go. Learn more about our growth at uofmflint.edu.
Find space at Frankenmuth Spring Hill Suites, where you can savor your time away with the little extras that are included. Each studio suite features extra room to spread out when on the road with your family or your team. Airy beds are piled high with pillows for that little bit of extra comfort. And an innovative 3-in-1 trundle sofa provides even more sleeping options. Book your next stay at Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, where every room is more than a room.
So, we're finally ready to plan for retirement, but who do we trust?
Our friends at TriStar Trust. They've been here for 25 years right here in our community, and they'll be here for the next 25.
That's the kind of team I want in my corner.
TriStar Trust helps you plan your retirement, manage your investments, and build the future you've been dreaming of. Because when it comes to your goals, it's your time to shine. Visit TriStarTrust.com.
My Michigan Health is your go-to place for comprehensive brain, stroke, and spine care right here in your community. Our expert neuroscience team provides care close to home with multiple certified stroke centers throughout the region, including the only comprehensive stroke center in Saginaw. With 24/7 medical expertise, the latest diagnostic tools, and advanced treatments, we're ready when you need us most. Learn more at mymichigan.org/neuro.
As a business, a roof over your head is just as important as the products you create. At Versatile Flat Roofing, our membrane roofs have provided safety and security to businesses in the Great Lakes Bay region for over 10 years. Our quality of production in low-sloped flat roofing systems made Versatile Flat Roofing the 2024 Michigan Elite Contractor of the Year. With more than 1,500 roofs installed and 75% of clients coming from repeats and referrals, customer satisfaction is at the heart of the job. For more information on keeping the roof over your head safe and secure, visit VersatileFlatRoofing.com today. That's VersatileFlatRoofing.com.
Spirit Hockey
Harmer holds it out wide. Centers. Kluchek scores!
lives
Looking for the stretch pass to Jilkin. He'll pop off the wall and lay down for him. Jilkin scores!
here.
Picked up by Harmer. In with speed. Carson Harmer shoots. He scores! Carson Harmer!
The radio home of your Saginaw Spirit is WSGW 100.5 FM. Spirit Hockey is brought to you in part by Garber Automotive Group, Saginaw Valley State University, Dow, Frankenmuth Insurance, Saginaw Bay Underwriters, NetSource One, Delta College, Corning, Go Great Lakes Bay, Herman Hisson Company, Frankenmuth Convention and Visitors Bureau, DML Property Management, My Michigan Health, Independent Bank, Buffalo Wild Wings, Stormmaster Exteriors, IBEW Local 557, Michigan Sugar Company, Jets Pizza, Raymond, the Great Lakes Loons, Applebee's, Stanley Steamer, your local State Farm agents, and Meyer. Now it's game time. Live from the rink to your radio. Here is the first period play-by-play with the voice of Saginaw Spirit Hockey, Dylan Clark.
One more time in 2025. The Saginaw Spirit are in action this afternoon from the WFCU Center, taking on a division rival. No better way to close out this chapter of the season. And then against the Windsor Spitfires, Saginaw 3-1 in the season series so far. They've won 3 consecutive hockey games. First, our national anthems, and we'll drop the puck. Very full WFCU Center here on this Wednesday afternoon. Saginaw and the Windsor Spitfires, the Spirit would like to spoil a tradition here in Windsor, the New Year's Eve game. And one of the players looking to play an instrumental part in that potential spoiling of the game are NetSource One starting goaltenders, the official technology provider of the Saginaw Spirit. Caleb Papineau back in action. He came into the game in relief of Stepan Shurigan against the Sioux Greyhounds back on December the 17th. He gets his first start since December the 6th against the Brampton Steelheads. This is just his 8th appearance of the season. Played well against Brampton. 35 saves, though the Spirit could not get the victory. Last time he was in this building, 18 saves in a shootout victory back on October the 26th. Joey Costanzo across the way for the Windsor Spitfires. He's got 2 straight victories, 18 wins on the year, 1.90 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. One of the best in the OHL, down to our right here for the Spitfires. Our officials tonight brought to you by WNEM TV5. Ryan Hutchison and Joe Monette, the referees. Brandon Flood and Phil Nadeau are the linesmen. Igor Barabanov against Jack Nesbitt, our Delta College opening faceoff. Saginaw, the traveling Navy Blues, with the red and white throughout. They move left to right here in this first period. Jack Nesbitt, the Spitfires, and the home whites for one more day. They'll switch uniforms coming up in the second half of the year. They control, and they shoot this puck into the Spirit end to start this Wednesday afternoon affair. Saginaw out of the defensive zone. Dimas Jilkin cannot find Hayden Barch as he breaks up the near side wall. Spitfires go off the glass and out to center, where it's Dimas Jilkin to control again. Slid over to Josh Glavin. Center red. Stepped into there by Windsor's Ethan Belchez. 6'5", 226 pounds. That's a lot of weight coming into the right shoulder of Josh Glavin. Puck back in the right wing corner. Offensive zone for the Spirit. Nikita Klepov. First man in Saginaw to hit the 20-goal mark this year. He did it last night against the Sarnia Sting. Puck rifled back in from center. Another hit there. That time it's laid on Graydon Jones. But Ethan Belchez, who threw it again. Now this puck tossed back and behind the Windsor net. Just about 50 seconds gone here in this first period. Graydon Jones rifles it back down underneath and behind the Windsor goal. Walton is there. Pressured by Saginaw's Jacob Pluche in on the forecheck. Walton on the backhand moves the puck out. Cole Davis off the wall, back out to center ice. Spitfires are on this. Sultan Makish out of Kazakhstan, one of the import players here for the Spitfires this year, tosses it back into the Saginaw end. The Spirit, while stumbling, Carson Harmer's able to get this out of danger. Graydon Jones hops up on the rush, and he's into the offensive end for Saginaw. Tries to turn that puck, and a turnaround shot goes wide through the goal crease from a tough angle. Out the other side, and this is Saginaw's Brody Papoy. Up and down the boards he goes. Down into the corner. Ducks underneath the goal line, looking for the wraparound. A save by Costanzo. The rebound spills back out in front. Costanzo shut down Valeris on a chance from 25 feet. Spitfires take it the other way. Intercepted, though, and gotten out of danger by Saginaw's Jensen Geldart at center red. Racing down the left side and back into the offensive zone is Saginaw's Nick Sema. He's going to knock a man off the puck. It was Jonathan Brown. He goes heavily into the boards. And Joey Costanzo, the Windsor netminder, hangs on to this puck. A minute and 50 seconds gone here in the first period. It stays scoreless. Couple of good opportunities here for Chris Lazary and the Saginaw Spirit to start out. Costanzo off of a broken play. The third line out here for the Spirit. Gervais will center Jensen Geldart and Nick Sema. Saginaw 11 forwards and 7 defensemen here today again. As the Spitfires win this draw, J.C. Lemieux tosses that off the boards back in behind the net of Caleb Papineau. Stops a run of 5 consecutive starts for Stephon Shurigan as this puck deflected out into the Spirit bench. We'll have a face-off back in the Saginaw end. No delay of game penalty. And the same trio to stay on here. But the defense pairing will be mixed up. Saginaw recalls James Go and Levi Harper back to the bench. The Windsor Spitfires are without Liam Greentree and A.J. Spellacy, two of the top players on their roster this year. Of course, their captain, Liam Greentree, is there at World Juniors right now. Team USA and Spellacy, Team Canada, and Greentree are in action today out in Minnesota. As Hayden Barch is back in the Saginaw end. Turns it up the far wall. Nick Sema braces for contact, takes a hit, moves the puck to Josh Glavin. Takes a hit of his own. The return pass back into the far corner of the offensive end. Sebastian Gervais can't get after it before the Spitfires do. J.C. Lemieux hit by Saginaw's Nick Sema. This puck moved into the offensive zone by Windsor's Caden Harvey. Around the left side, Ethan Belches steps back on here for the Windsor Spitfires. Igor Barabanov tries to poke that puck away from Jack Nesbitt back behind the Spirit net. Wyatt Kennedy controls at the right point. Shot goes off some bodies and back out to center ice. Nesbitt reels this back in away from Barabanov and drops it back on now for Connor Walton. He throws it back in behind the net of Papineau. A bouncing puck off the end wall, chased down by Nesbitt and Josh Glavin. 3 minutes gone here in this first period. No score from the WFCU center. A sharp angle try from Kennedy. It's knocked down before it gets to the Saginaw net. Tossed back out to center and picked up by Saginaw's Nikita Klepov. Cuts into the offensive end. He's got to wait as it would have been offside. Barabanov got in. Klepov doubles back and throws the puck now to Blake Barnes. Over to his defensive partner, James Go, off the skate of Igor Barabanov. Into the offensive end go the Spirit. Not a lot of speed. They're closed off by Wyatt Kennedy and Windsor's Ethan Belches. They move the puck back out to center. James Go back into the Saginaw end. D-to-D pass. Blake Barnes just tapped back in by Nikita Klepov. This group's going to have to get off soon here. Dimas Jokin closes off a check on Walton. Not so far removed from a 4-goal performance in this building. A hat-trick performance plus a shootout goal back in October. This one back in behind the Saginaw net. All the way back, it drifts, and pulling it out is Saginaw's Klepov. Up for James Go, the defenseman. Runs into some pressure in the form of Jonathan Brown at the Windsor blue line. Spitfire's going to cough this up, though. James Go picks it up, ducks down the wall, and fires it up high for Zilkin. The return pass into the skates of Go. 2 Spitfires on him. So Go just puts it back in behind the Windsor goal for Jacob Kluche. In the midst of a 5-game point-scoring streak, had a goal and an assist last night against the Sting. Got the scoring started. James Go near side, the one-timer by Xander Valeris. Misfired off of Beck-Sultan Nikish. Now it's Brody Papoy. Trying to turn this puck out of danger. Gets it free. Kluche, the pass up to the top of the zone. Deflected by the Spitfires. All the way back into Spirit real estate. It's handled quickly there by Xander Valeris. The long stretch pass. Carson Harmer hits Brody Papoy. Brilliant spin pass. Back the shot there. It gets on through, and a save made by Joey Costanzo. Papoy gets the stick knocked out of his hand by Beck-Sultan Nikish. Carson Harmer didn't love that. He's going to let Nikish know. 15:23 to go in the first period. A fantastic move by Brody Papoy. Right shot coming down the left wing. Curls it in, spins around over his backhand side, and gets a twirling shot away that Costanzo's able to save. But the confidence of these players is at a season high. Kluche, as I mentioned, in the middle of a 5-game point streak. Carson Harmer has goals in each of his last 3 contests. Brody Papoy doing Brody Papoy things. And especially for these guys, you heard Chris Lasry talk during Coach's Corner about they'd be the first to admit that it hasn't been the year that they would like to have from a production standpoint. As this puck is brought back in from center. They're feeling better as time goes on. A long shot by Sebastian Gervais is easily sticked up and into the glass by Costanzo. A centering feed by Gervais. Nick Sema rolls right over one of the Spitfires. Gervais moves it up high to Levi Harper. At the right point, drops it off for Gervais. Shot into traffic, deflected, not to the net. Geldar tries to put it back in front for Sema. Loose puck right on top of the crease. Saginaw can't get a shot away. Spitfires put it back down low. Nick Sema rolls right through. Carter hits. Spitfires move this puck. This is Robinson. Nice pass at the line. Picked up by Lemieux down the right side. A turning shot on the backhand. Deflected off a Saginaw defender. Picked up on the near side wall, and Jensen Geldart gets it back out to center. 5.5 gone. No score here in the first period from Windsor. Spitfires gun it back in. Ethan Belches for Nesbitt. A shot into traffic. Swept aside. The first save of the game for Caleb Papineau. Through traffic. Wyatt Kennedy back up now. Belches. Another shot into traffic. Rolls in on Papineau. He makes the stick save. Levi Harper up the far wall. Out past Jensen Geldart. The Spitfires take over. Fired back in, and Papineau knocks it down with the goal stick behind the net. It rolls on through. Now Cristoforo back in behind the net for Ethan Belchez. Back up to the right point. Windsor has Wyatt Kennedy on this puck. Back in deep. Flyers first rounder Nesbitt. The return pass up to the point. Popped over the stick of Wyatt Kennedy. Back into the Spitfires end. That allows Saginaw to change. 13:50 to go here. First period. 4 shots to 2 in favor of the visitor. Shots on goal brought to you by Frankenmuth Insurance and Saginaw Bay Underwriters. As Belchez steps into the offensive zone from center here for the Spitfires. Turns that puck to the corner. They get a line change of their own. Josh Glavin starts the rush for the Spirit. Pass up the far wall looking for Uri Rauja. Misfires, doesn't connect. So it goes into the books as an icing. 13.5 right on the dot left in this first period. No score. We're back to Windsor in a moment here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
If you're a homeowner, you have plenty to think about, like cleaning the gutters, investigating that banging noise, deciding which flowers to plant this year. One thing about being a homeowner you can think less about, questions about home insurance when you have State Farm. Your local State Farm agent is there to help you understand your coverage options and choose the protection that meets your needs, so you can focus on your home, and we'll focus on helping protect it.
Contact State Farm agent Ryan Coe to create your personal price plan today.
Hi, this is Jacob Gutze, and you're listening to Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW.
No score between the Saginaw Spirit and the Windsor Spitfires here on this New Year's Eve afternoon. Joey Costanzo has made some really strong saves here for the Spitfires in this game. Again, one of the top goaltenders in the Ontario Hockey League this year. But he's also recognized pregame as he passed former Spitfires goaltender Mikey DiPietro for the most all-time wins in franchise history. He's at 88 right now. A couple of nights ago, he passed DiPietro, who had the previous record of 86. And he's also 2 games shy of the franchise record for games played by a netminder. And, of course, it's DiPietro who's right in front of him. Spitfires move things back in behind the net of Caleb Papineau. Turn it back around the far side wall. Uri Rauja can't get the Spirit out of danger. Broken play at the Saginaw blue line. Carson Harmer has a man all over him and Sean Costello. Puck onto the near side board. Spitfires are in hot pursuit. Costello back after Glavin. Tosses him into the end wall. A heavy check there. Glavin picks himself back up. Spirit get this puck back out to neutral ice. The Spitfires in a hitting mood here on this Wednesday afternoon. And Costello gets a little bit of a return favor there from Glavin, but he got the puck back into the Spirit end. Here they come again. Costello, another hit on Glavin. He moves the puck to his defensive partner, Hayden Barch. Spirit turned the puck over just inside the blue line, and Costello's shot deflects off a Spirit body back in behind the Saginaw net. 2 against 2. Back in the trapezoid. Puck picked up by Saginaw's Carson Harmer. All kind of bodies hit the net, or hit the ice back in behind the net. Spitfires move this puck back out the center. Harmer there for Klepov. Surrounded by white sweaters. He's taken down. Puck dropped back. This is Wyatt Kennedy out of the Windsor zone. Up the near side. Gotten past Ethan Garden. No icing here. It's back behind the Saginaw net. Braden Jones turned it over to Garden. Back under past the stick of Beck-Sultan McKeish. Now at the right point. Wyatt Kennedy shot into traffic. Saved by Caleb Papineau on the rebound. Shoveled high. He didn't even know that first shot was coming. Another bouncing puck ends up right in front of the Spirit goal. It had to be played by the glove of Braden Jones. Saginaw in a little bit of danger here. Klepov can't get this puck out. Spitfires shuttle it towards the net. Stabbed wide by the goal stick of Caleb Papineau. Spitfires go right back to work. Barabanov on it for the Spirit. Up the far wall. Dima Zilk just has to get this puck back out to center as he takes a check there. And the rebound comes all the way back out in front of the Windsor bench. Barabanov one-hands it. Gets a rough ride into the bench by Connor Walton, but he got the puck deep into Windsor real estate. Off the stick of Nesbitt at center. Ethan Belchez follows on for Windsor. Turn it back in behind the Saginaw net. This is Papineau. Hayden Barch up the near side for Kluche. Fumbled that cross-ice pass, intercepted by Cristoforo. Angled back in here by Windsor. Back behind the net of Papineau. He's out to play it as there was no icing. Saginaw can't keep this puck alive. Now Jacob Kluche pressuring after it. He's going to pursue Andrew Robinson back deep in Windsor real estate. Nesbitt, the return pass is back onto the stick of Carson Harmer, though he coughed it up to Robinson right away. Nesbitt again on the near wall. A couple of difficult D-zone turnovers by both of these teams as this puck is down for an icing with 10:49 left in this first period. With Liam Greentree and AJ Spellisy representing their countries in the World Junior Hockey Championships, Anthony Cristoforo has been promoted in a way. He's up on the top line. He's typically a defenseman. First round pick by the Spitfires in 2022, 32 points in 29 games. He's been bothering his coach to play the wing. Well, he's gotten his wish and had a hat trick in his first game up on the wing with Belchez and Nesbitt, so he's going to stay there for the foreseeable future. Saginaw goes to work in the offensive end here off the faceoff. That shot kicked wide by Nick Sema, right in front of the Windsor goal. Jensen Geldard pursues this puck. Robinson gets there first for the Spitfires. Slung around to the right point. Blake Barnes there for Gervais and just tapped back into the corner. Sema knocks a man off the puck, rips it back up to the left point. Sebastian Gervais kept it alive. Down the boards he moves. Now Nick Sema just can't keep it in the zone as a good poke from Cristoforo frees up the puck. Laid back in by Saginaw's Blake Barnes. Robinson there to pick it up. He is closed off by Nick Sema. A leaping check. And now this is Levi Harper at center ice. Halfway through this first period. No score. Big time hit as Jensen Geldart got sandwiched in between a couple of Spitfires. One of them's on this puck. It's John McLaughlin. Now Carter Hicks back in the Windsor end. Outlet pass up the right side. Pinballed off a couple of Spitfire sticks. They are offside. 8:50 to go in the period. Still no score. So big hits in this game. And Nick Sema, a player that's been a spark plug for the Spirit for well over 3 seasons now. Got to be careful on some of these hits. He's got a tendency, and it may be an event that he's not entirely aware of. He's got a tendency to leap into some of his checks. There is a hit every handful of games where Nick Sema could probably be tagged for a charging penalty. And whichever Spitfire he caught right there, that angle was just a little bit different. There could have been some damage done there. So Sema got to be aware of the upward trajectory on some of these collisions. I don't believe he's been tagged for a charging call yet this year. But it's something that's been a noticeable trend. As here comes Klepov down the right side. Back on through for the Spirit. Nice move between his own legs, and he sent the shot wide. Oh, Wyatt Kennedy able to force that chance back in behind the Windsor net. Here's Klepov again. Comes out, moves the puck while falling to the right point. Levi Harper left it behind. This one pulled away by McKeish. Walton leads the charge back in for the Spitfires. Off the boards, the bounce pass taken by Davis. Spitfires hold it alive at the line. Belchez down the right wing to the goal line, back behind the Spirit net. A left shot comes out on the near side, on his backhand to the top of the zone. Belchez has made a full lap around the offensive zone. A point shot there off the stick of Jonathan Brown was shut down. Moved back into the Windsor end. 8:50 left in the first period. 4 shots to 3 for the Spirit, no score. Nesbitt breaks his way into the zone. He's tossed into the boards by Saginaw's Jones. And a board battle comes out of all that. Levi Harper off the glass and out looking for Brody Popoy. It comes the rest of the neutral zone. Spitfires start the breakout again. It's off the stick of Harper. Belchez is offside. 8:32 left in this first period. I'll tell you what, halfway through the frame, it is a much more entertaining first period than the 4 shots to 3 would indicate. Well, it's been a really entertaining season series. And last time the Spirit were here, however, a 4-1 win by the Windsor Spitfires back on November the 21st. That's their only victory in this season series so far. Costello from a neutral zone faceoff breaks it back in for Windsor. Braden Jones moves the puck up the boards for Carson Harmer. Then it's backhanded out to center by Brody Popoy. Gets on it, moved near side as Hayden Barnes hops up, joins the rush, sweeps it back in behind the Windsor goal. Braden Jones up at the left point. This is Harmer for Barnes. Walks in and a shot into the glove of Costanzo for a faceoff. A little bit more after as Brown and Luce are wrapped up. Costello, Popoy as well. Davis has Brody Popoy by the scruff right now. Nothing more after that. A quiet afternoon so far for the referees. Windsor native and the referee tonight, Ryan Hutchison, officiating his final game here in his hometown. A New Year's Eve tradition. Hutchison grew up going to Spitfires games in the old building, the old Windsor Arena. So a bit of a full circle moment as he's been a referee in the Ontario Hockey League since 2009. Congratulations to Ryan Hutchison on a long and fruitful OHL career in officiating. This is back in behind the Windsor net. There's a lot of hockey left to be played, so it might be an eventful farewell. Here's a give and go right in front. Spitfires are shut down on a tap-in opportunity by the goal pads of Caleb Papineau. Saginaw breaking back in. I believe it was J.C. Lemieux on that pass to the front of the net. Spirit are back in behind the goal with Joey Costanzo. 7:38 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first puck in behind the goaltender this game. Carson Woodall leads a 3-on-2 back for the Spitfires. They move it down the wing. Back in front of shot. Stopped by Papineau. He looked behind him, but it was pinned in between the pads. 7:26 to go. He's able to rob right on the doorstep J.C. Lemieux. It was a mirror opportunity of the previous chance we just described. Spitfires come down the wing. A pass floated into space. Lemieux just reaches out a left shot down the left wing. He's able to be ramped perfectly off his stick, and Papineau squeezes the legs together, and there was that panic moment. The head snaps over the shoulder, and he put his hands up in the air to say, no, I got it. Face-off comes to Caleb Papineau's right. After a brief battle, McKeesh has it in the slot. A broken play, and a save made by Papineau from right between the dots. One of the Spirit defensemen got a stick on that chance. This is Davis for the Spitfires. Far boards now to the left point. Robinson a shot, and that one located through traffic. Papineau, the blocker, stop. He pins it to his chest protector and gets another face-off here. 7:08 left in the first. Stays scoreless as Papineau again. First bit of action since December the 17th. First start since December 6th in Brampton. And again, there were a lot of things that left a sour taste in people's mouths out of that Brampton game. You remember the suspensions to Hayden Barnes and Dimas Yilkin, and of course just a loss in general by the Spirit. But you felt bad for Caleb Papineau. He was outstanding in that hockey game. Spitfires go to work off the offensive zone faceoff. Hicks taps it back down low. After it is Hayden Barnes, braces for contact. Puck ripped up the near sideboards. Saginaw trying to get this puck back out to neutral ice. Jacob Cloutier sees it roll over his stick, and the Spitfires toss it back in behind the net of Papineau. Big-time collision as Graydon Jones got rocked when he moved the puck. Back in behind the Windsor net now. Off the stick of Carson Harmer, Brody Papoy nearly swept that back in front. This is Jack Nesbitt now. Off the right side, leading the Windsor counterattack. 6.5 to go here in the first period. No score. Brody Papoy lifts the stick of Ethan Belchez, and Carson Harmer leads a counterattack in for Papoy. This shot goes off a leg and just wide. Harmer and Papoy back behind the Windsor goal. Looking for an option up high. Kennedy is all over Papoy. Nikita Klepov looking to give Papoy some help. Belchez comes over. Moved it up the near sideboards. Blake Barnes comes down to seal off the wall. Connor Walton on it. Back in front of the Windsor goal. D-to-D pass. And that one will go down. No icing against the Spitfires. Papineau out of his net to move it around. Up the near boards. Inside 6 to go in the first period. Klepov, cross ice. Breaking into the offensive end is Barabanov. Lost the puck to the stick of Wyatt Kennedy. Back up the wall and out to center ice again. This is Saginaw's James Go. A board pass picked up by Barabanov. He stood up by Kennedy. Cristofaro comes back, gets it out of the Windsor zone. Josh Glavin picks it up in front of the Spirit bench. Now up to Nikita Klepov. Changes the angle. But Saginaw offside. Klepov, too shifty for his own good there. Faked out a couple of teammates. 5.5 to go in the first period. No score from Windsor. Back in a moment on 100.5 FM WSGW.
You really do get it all at Garber Chevrolet in Linwood. It's more than just better prices. It's better financing, better selection, and a better overall customer experience that will keep you coming back. We're also where your vehicle is serviced by factory-trained technicians with the highest standards of service. Come see us. Get a better overall experience and lease for less in Linwood. Garber Chevrolet Linwood, M13, north of Bay City. Online, garberlinwood.com. Chevrolet, together. Let's drive.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW.
No score here from the WFCU Center in one of the OHL's traditions, the New Year's Eve game in Windsor. Saginaw closing the calendar year 2025. In the year itself, between this season and last, 32 wins, 26 losses, 6-6 between overtime and shootouts. Their longest win streak, 6 victories in February of last year. And a win streak right now at 3. They look to make it 4 for the first time this season. No score yet as the Spirit try to set up shop in the offensive zone. At the right point, it's Levi Harper. Shot into traffic deflection. Save Costanzo. And he got the rebound on Jilkin, too, who's locked up in a scrum with Cole Davis right now. They trade slashes. And nothing more comes out of that. 5:13 to go in the first. If you listen to our broadcast on Sunday in Sault Ste. Marie, you heard Chris Lassery talk about he loves the fire out of Zilkin, loves what it brings to the team, but you don't want to have one of your top players in the penalty box quite as often as Zilkin is. Leading the team in penalty minutes this season. He was only tapped for a minor penalty last night against the Sarnia Sting. This puck back out of a D-zone face-off. The Spitfires turn it over. Barabanov near side. Klepov. Great save by Costanzo as he bails out some of his teammates. That was a questionable turnover in the defensive end. Zilkin, 57 penalty minutes to return to that thought just for a moment. 57 penalty minutes on the season for Zilkin. 31 points in 27 games, though. Hard to argue with the production. And the next closest guy behind him is line mate Igor Barabanov, 36 penalty minutes. Closest guy on the Windsor side of things is Carson Woodall with 40. So exciting to see the progression of Dima Zilkin here over the last couple of years. They're not draft eligible until next season as a late birth year. This puck back out to center ice. The Spitfires clear. They're guilty of icing. 4:52 here in this first period. Still no score. And out of all the players that are draft eligible in this year's NHL draft, there are quite a few that are going to be under some scrutiny here pretty soon. The Connor McDavid OHL Top Prospects game in Peterborough this year on January the 14th. Saginaw will see Stepan Shurigan, Igor Barabanov, Nikita Klepov, Brody Popoy. Windsor Spitfires going to send quite a few guys as well as James goes on this puck in the offensive zone. Shifting, top of the zone shot, goes off of Harmer on its way through. Sebastian Gervais tied up right now. He can't get a clean stick on it, so Seema scoots it around the board to the far point. Levi Harper near side. James go point shot. Ricochets over the shoulder of Costanzo and off the window. Back around the near boards. J.C. Lemieux gets there for the Spitfires. Put in a half headlock by James Go. The puck back in behind the Windsor net. Good work by Seema. Pulls it off the man. Now this, the far side boards, is taken by Levi Harper. Back in front looking for Gervais. Spitfires on this puck. They intercept. Caden Harvey up for Lemieux. Odd man break coming back the other way. Tries to put it back in front. Nicely read by James Go as he poked away from John McLaughlin. Big time collision in the corner. McLaughlin hit by Go. And that's sticks on the boards for Saginaw. They celebrate back the other direction. This is Carson Harmer. Throws the puck off the skate of Sebastian Gervais and tosses his man Hicks into the wall. Jones back in the Spirit end on the regroup here. Quick pass up for Hayden Barch. Sealed off by the Spitfires. Comes back to Barch. He braces for a hit there against Bexalta McKeish. This is back into the Windsor end. Robinson to big time collision in open ice as Barabanov stepped up on McKeish and the Spitfires are offside. And Saginaw's into it here. 3:34 to go in the first period. This has not been a Spirit team known for hitting or physicality last season or this season. But in the last couple of games, we've seen a couple of fights. Blake Barnes dropped the gloves. Carson Harmer had the Gordie Howe hat trick last night. And Saginaw, they've taken some very heavy checks in this game of their own. And they've dished out a couple as well. Igor Barabanov, team's leading scorer this season. 44 points. Not usually one of the guys throwing the body around as much, but steps up on Bexalta McKeish at open ice. Cristoforo returns the favor on Jones, and a backhanded shot is turned out by Papineau. Right point Hicks. Robinson shot into traffic. Doesn't get to Papineau. 3:15 to go in the period. No score yet here in the first. As this is cleared out, Hicks tries to rip it up, and Belchez gets into the zone early. And that could have been an easy home run pass out of the Spitfires end. And Belchez, a strange error. Just a little overexcited getting into the offensive zone. He was at a standstill on the blue line. And he just casually walks into the offensive end to pick the puck up, but he was well ahead of the play. And again, it's one play, it's one mistake. As Dennis DeRose has said famously, it is a game of mistakes, but that's a strange one. That could have easily been a breakaway and a puck in the back of the net for Ethan Belchez, who's done it better than anybody on the Windsor side of things, 20 goals on the season. potential top 5 pick in this year's NHL draft. Here come the Spitfires anyway. On the return, a sliding chance as Ethan Garden goes into the boards, and he sends the puck wide to the skate of Caleb Papineau. Back to neutral ice this puck goes. Davis drops it back for Windsor's Woodall. Return pass looking for Davis, intercepted by Kluche. The little bump for Carson Harmer. 2 white sweaters to him, so no more puck. Exalted McKeish tries to submarine the check there from Josh Glavin. They both go down anyway. Caleb Papineau plays this puck from the edge of the trapezoid. Got to be careful there. He nearly played in the restricted area. Good tap there as Kluche receives a pass from Brody Papoy and goes between the wickets of the defender. That was Jonathan Brown, and now Kluche gets buried by Brown. Puck, meanwhile, 100 feet the other direction as Kluche's got a touch back up. It was back into the Spirit end. Now Saginaw's back into the offensive zone. Kluche getting a rough ride still. Back into the corner they go, 2 against 2. Jonathan Brown. Now it's ripped back up to the left point. Saginaw's Blake Barnes this shot, blocked by Belchez. Rebound chance. Now it is a home run pass onto the tape of Belchez. Alone against Papineau, and the Spirit netminder makes the save. 1:58 left in the first period. Great stop by Caleb Papineau. Belchez comes in. The initial shot by Blake Barnes at the offensive blue line was blocked by Belchez. He lets his momentum carry himself out into the neutral zone because he knows what's coming next. The rebound came back. It was a home run pass, I believe, by Cole Davis. Belchez picks it up in stride at the red line. He's already got the Saginaw defender beat, and he just tries to open up the wickets on Caleb Papineau. He holds the door shut. 9 saves so far in this period for Caleb Papineau. 8 for Joey Costanzo. No score yet. The face-off in the offensive zone for the Windsor Spitfires. 1 instead by Saginaw's Igor Barabanov and moved to Dimas Yilkin. Lofted back in behind the net of Costanzo. Puck chopped off the wall by the Spitfires. Cristoforo bumped to the middle. Nesbitt. Quick exchange. Now Davis down the right side. Trying to drive wide past Glavin. Takes it right to the net. Never got a shot away. Klepov takes care of the loose puck. Davis up to the left point. Walton shot into traffic. Blocker save Papineau from distance. Barabanov back in behind the Saginaw net. Finding James Go and then Josh Glavin. Stretch pass up the wall. Is just ramped in by Zilkin. He got held up there. Looking for a penalty. Not going to find one. Costanzo out of his net to play this puck around. McLaughlin up the left side for Harvey into the offensive zone. The Spitfires lost it at the last second. Klepov just gets it back out to center ice, and Windsor's Robinson takes back over. They're into the zone right in front. Here's a chance. They score. John McLaughlin right in front of the doorstep. 1:05 to go in the first. And the Spitfires are on the board at 1-0. Third goal of the season for John McLaughlin. Windsor's first-round pick in this year's priority selection, and Spitfires have been getting a couple of chances more and more as this period had gone on. He ends up all alone in front as the Spirit defenders thought the play going one way. It ends up dunked in the back of the net the other. Really strong period for Saginaw and Caleb Papineau, but this mistake does come back to bite him. It's 1-0. Spitfires cross ice, picked up by Lemieux. Floated back in front of the Spirit net on a play that's worked a couple of times here for Windsor. This time it's intercepted by James Go, and he backhands this puck off the wall. Brody Papoy angles it there for Blake Barnes. Pass up the left side. Gervais drops it back. Geldart's in with room to the left wing circle. Backhanded pass deflected into the glass. 35 to go in the period. J.C. Lemieux leads the Windsor counterattack. The Spitfires surging here after they find the game's first goal. Back and behind the Saginaw net, they toss this puck. Blake Barnes scoots it around the wall. Carson Woodall there to intercept for Windsor. Head fake to the middle of the ice. He's pursued by Nick Sema. Backhand chance in front and a stick save by Papineau. Rebound by Cole Davis, rather. Goes off some bodies in front. Davis again, a backhanded shot. Stopped by Papineau. He hangs on with 9.2 left. Spitfires really turning things up here in the final 90 seconds or so of this first period. Chance after chance. Caleb Papineau's done what he can to hold the door shut. It'll be a defensive zone faceoff to his right. Nesbitt, Belchez, Cristoforo. Out for the Windsor Spitfires to try and find another one late here. There's a lot to be happy about for Saginaw in this first period. They can't get this puck out off the draw. The shot just floated wide. Rebound off the wall. Can't be shot in stride by Carter Hicks. He gets one more at the end of the period, and that's it for the first 20. Maybe not. Klutze and Nesbitt wrapped up Walton, too. As Papoy comes over, they say, hey, let go of my line, mate. 2:45 left in this. I just read the clock for it. It's 2:45 in the afternoon. No time is left in the first period. We got too many clocks here in this building. 1-0. The only goal in this game scored off the stick of John McLaughlin. And all things considered, not a bad first period here for the Saginaw Spirit. Caleb Papineau, the shining star of those first 20 minutes for the Spirit. We'll take a break. First intermission report coming up in a moment. Back after this on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
From the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, Corning's technologies push the boundaries of what's possible. We're the world's leading innovator in glass and ceramic science, and we're innovating right here in Michigan. Corning's solar wafer site in Hemlock is helping guarantee American energy security. We're investing in our local Michigan communities. That's why Corning is a proud sponsor of the Saginaw Spirit. Learn more about Corning today at corning.com.
Independent Bank is proud to be the corporate sponsor of your Saginaw Spirit. We've been banking in Michigan for 160 years and have always put our customers and communities first. We pride ourselves on being a full-service bank, offering an exceptional banking experience for personal, small business, and commercial banking customers, helping them to achieve financial independence. Be a game changer. Be independent. Member FDIC.
At Garber Chevy Chesaning, better means you get it all. Better prices, better selection, and better service. Our factory-trained technicians keep your vehicle in top condition. We have everything your vehicle needs, even tires. Come see us at Garber Chevy Chesaning and see how you can get it all. At the corner of M52 and M57, online at garberchesaning.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
It takes each of us to make Saginaw a place we're proud to call home. Since 1984, Saginaw Community Foundation has helped build and strengthen Saginaw County by bringing together people and resources to make a difference. We're a one-stop shop for giving, building endowments, grant-making, and community leadership. Visit SaginawFoundation.org today to learn more about how you can help support your community. Saginaw Community Foundation, building a flourishing community for all, for good, forever.
It's time for your intermission report. In the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, here is Jonathan Dent.
It's a back and forth match here in the first period. Saginaw getting some chances, Windsor getting some chances, both goaltenders holding strong. Finally, the Spitfires break through towards the end of the first 20 minutes. Let's take a look back at that first period, brought to you by Raymond. Empower your purpose. The Spirit were the first to get some good looks at the net early on. Costanzo seals off his right side to deny Brody Papoy. Then the follow-up by Xander Valeris.
Up and down the boards he goes. Down into the corner. Ducks underneath the goal line. Looking for the wraparound. A save by Costanzo. The rebound spills back out in front. Costanzo shut down Valeris on a chance from 25 feet.
It took them a few minutes, but Windsor started to find their footing. Got some stuff going the other way. Caleb Papineau, his first action of the afternoon. He shuts down Jack Nesbitt from a steep angle on his left side, then a cross for Wyatt Kennedy from the top of the right circle.
5.5 gone. No score here in the first period from Windsor. Spitfires gun it back in. Ethan Belches for Nesbitt. A shot into traffic. Swept aside. The first save of the game for Caleb Papineau. Through traffic. Wyatt Kennedy back up now. Belches. Another shot into traffic. Rolls in on Papineau. He makes the stick save.
Back and forth things go. The Spitfires slowly ramping up their presence, and the physicality picks up too. Both teams playing things a little bit tighter, but the whistles stay away. Spirit gets some good looks of their own on the other side. Levi Harper's shot from the blue line is stopped, and Costanzo lays out to smother the follow-up by Dima Zhilkin.
Score yet as the Spirit trying to set up shop in the offensive zone. At the right point, it's Levi Harper. Shot into traffic deflection. Save Costanzo, and he got the rebound on Zhilkin too.
The Spitfires' top scorer, Ethan Belches, blocks a shot, keeps going on breakaway, but Papineau's pads keep him out in one of the more dangerous chances of the 20 minutes.
Blake Barnes, the shot blocked by Belches. Rebound chance. Now it is a home run pass onto the tape of Belches. Alone against Papineau, and the Spirit netminder makes the save.
18 minutes, 55 seconds, neutral zone turnover after a scramble at the Spirit blue line. Sees a pass from Andrew Robinson. Find the tape of John McLaughlin right in front, and he finally lights the lamp for the Spits to make it 1-0.
Lepov just gets it back out to center ice, and Windsor's Robinson takes back over. They're into the zone right in front. Here's a chance. They score. John McLaughlin right in front of the doorstep. 1:05 to go in the first. And the Spitfires are on the board at 1-0.
1-0 the score. Windsor out shooting the Spirit 12-8 rather. Neither team getting a man advantage. Only one goal. We just heard it. John McLaughlin assisted by Andrew Robinson. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Dylan and I break down that first period a little bit more for you here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
When you go Great Lakes Bay in Michigan, lose yourself in nature and find yourself at peace. Soak up the stillness of winter on glistening trails, or glide along an outdoor ice rink. Take charming carriage rides through snowy streets. Embrace the magic of the season and warm up with comfort food and handcrafted beverages. There are moments of pure greatness all around if we linger long enough to soak them in. Find yours at gogreat.com.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Contact State Farm agent Mike Miner to create your personal price plan today.
Looking for the perfect place for your loved one to thrive? At Traditions of Saginaw, we offer comfort, care, and community. It's a senior living hat trick. Whether it's enjoying delicious, chef-prepared meals, personalized support, or fun events, Traditions of Saginaw feels like home. Schedule your tour today and see why families trust us for peace of mind and vibrant living. Learn more at traditionsofsaginaw.com or call to schedule a tour today. Traditions of Saginaw. Welcome home.
Are you looking to make a sweet change in your career? Plant your career with Michigan Sugar Company. Michigan Sugar Company is now hiring STEM, skilled trades, maintenance, and general labor roles at their Bay City, Caro, Croswell, and Seaboing factories. Visit michigansugar.com/careers for a full list of available roles and to start your application today. Michigan Sugar Company, making life sweeter since 1906.
Your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey is WSGW.
Welcome back. After one period of play, the Saginaw Spirit trailing the Windsor Spitfires 1-0 here this afternoon as we bring in from the Town Place Suites by Marriott broadcast booth, Dylan Clark. Dylan, an interesting first period, kind of a goaltenders matchup. Caleb Papineau really holding his own very well against Joey Costanzo, who was just honored at the beginning of the game as the wins leader for Windsor goaltenders.
Yeah, you know what? It's a tough situation for Caleb Papineau. I mean, he's been up against it at times this year because, I mean, you look at the numbers. 4.99 goals against average, .835 save percentage. The games that he has been given, it's going to be tough to win hockey games with some of those numbers. Now, that being said, he's played well against Windsor before. His last start up in Brampton on December the 6th, I thought was probably his best game of the year. It might have been actually one of his best games in a Spirit uniform. And he was really strong in that first period. He made a couple of really 10-bell saves. They actually just upped the shot count to 13 here on the Windsor side of things in that first 20 minutes. So, I mean, how many times, Jonathan, you know, we've been doing this together for 4 years now. How many times have we seen we come into Windsor and there's an early goal, the roof gets blown off this place, and it's just so hard to come back from an early goal here in this building. Maybe a little bit more difficult here than in other places for one reason or another. So for Papineau to be able to hold the door shut as long as he could, they get that late goal there in the final minute, 5 seconds of the period. Okay, nothing he could really do about it. It was an odd man break and a turnover in defensive end. He played really well in that first period, and that's a good projection, I think, for the way the rest of the game is going to go. It's a good foundation.
It was an interesting period as well on the offensive side of things. In the first few minutes, Saginaw really looked like themselves. They had space to move around. They were making those passes. They were making some pretty stick handling plays as well. And then Windsor kind of closed that off. They took away that space and started getting things moving back towards the Spirit end. I think that as the period wore on, though, we saw the physicality pick up. The whistles stayed away, but those players that really thrived were the ones that are fine operating without all of that space to move around. We talked during the break a little bit. Gervais, Geldart, Sema, that line really stuck out in that first as being able to work in that environment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And we kind of mentioned midway through that period, like this isn't a team that is used to throwing bodies around quite as much. I think they've done it real well. Like that Sarnia game last night was a good tune-up for today. They're used to getting hit in the last 24 hours, and it's not a bad thing. So, you look at a guy like Jensen Geldar, who's a little bit of a slighter build. He's 6'1", but he's 173 pounds. He's a little bit on the smaller side. He's a younger guy. He just turned, I think, 17. So, that's to be expected. But the good thing is he's a younger player, but he's taken a couple of hits, and he's taken them well in this game, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
He's not getting blown up, and he's not shaken up, picking himself back up off the floor. He doesn't have to be scraped up off the ice. He can take a check and then pop right back up and get back into the play, and he's not afraid of it after the fact. He's gotten a regular half shield visor. He does not have the full cage anymore, the full wire cage on his helmet, as he's gotten past the 10-game mark here, up at 12 games in the OHL, 13 including today. So some guys, they say that you play a little bit differently. Once you go from the cage to the visor, you feel like more of a man. I don't know. You feel like the older guys, the NHL guys that you've watched play hockey so far. It's the first time you've gotten to wear a half shield visor in your life. So it's another step in that progression. He's earned the half shield, I think is the best way to say it. And those guys are going to need to be counted on. I let Nick Sema through some key hits, stripped some really good pucks in the offensive zone, just kind of Nick Sema things. Again, I mentioned the kind of jumping at guys on some of these hits. He's going to have to be careful of that as time goes along. But he cannot stop hitting people. That's to be sure.
Absolutely. And the line mate, Sebastian Gervais, able to really work in that tight spaces along the board battles. How often have we heard of that? His ability to work in those difficult spots. One thing that Saginaw is really going to keep an eye on here moving into the second period, the odd man rushes the other way. That's what got him a few chances for the Spitfires that Papineau was able to shut down. Then that turnover at the blue line ends up in the back of the net as well. What do they need to do to cut down on that?
Well, I think just being aware. I think just being aware of where everybody is at all times. And it's tough because this is a Windsor team that moves around a lot. They're fast. You lose track of a guy for a half a second, and all of a sudden you're in some deep trouble. I mean, we saw that on what could have been a breakaway from Ethan Belches. They love the stretch pass from their own hash mark through the neutral zone to the opposite side of the far blue line. And if Belches doesn't walk off the blue line early and get tagged for an offside, there's a good chance that puck ends up in the back of the net. That was really the first odd man break. They saw a couple of ones after that. The big breakaway saved by Caleb Papineau. Is he going to be able to bail it out too many more times on breakaways like that? I don't know. And then, of course, again, like we said, kind of the turnover in the D zone ended up as a short odd man break, kind of like a mini breakaway for the eventual goal scorer, John McLaughlin. So they've got to limit those. And with the exception of those chances, the other 9 or 10 shots on goal in that first period, they weren't outrageously dangerous. Like the most dangerous chances the Spitfires had, their odd man breaks, and that was kind of it. They were able to capitalize on the one. It's not going to take very many, but if the Spirit can limit the 2-on-1s, the 3-on-2s back the other direction, like they did in that win up in the Sioux on Sunday, like they did yesterday against the Sarnia Sting, they can limit those odd man breaks back the other way. I think they're in good shape going into the second period.
See how things shake out. 1-0 the Spitfires lead. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a look at our out-of-town scores here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey, 100.5 FM WSGW, Carlton, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland.
Garber Buick is America's oldest Buick dealership. Our factory-trained service technicians deliver precision care to keep your vehicle performing at its best. We also have an award-winning body shop. We even sell parts and tires. You truly get it all at Garber Buick. Better service, better selection, and better prices. Garber Buick, State Street in Saginaw. Online, GarberBuick.com. Buick, exceptional by design.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
As proud sponsors of the Saginaw Spirit hockey team, the Barb Smith Suicide Resource and Response Network invite you to join us in supporting the players in our community. Our mission is to prevent suicide through education, advocacy, connection to resources, and support for those impacted by suicide. Visit us at srrn.net. That's srrn.net to learn more about our programs and events. Let's go Spirit!
Prost Wine Bar and Charcuterie now has 2 buzzing locations to enjoy. Visit us in downtown Frankenmuth or in uptown Bay City. We offer a full bar, menu, and memorable atmosphere. Walk-ins are always welcome, and Bay City is now accepting reservations online at prostwinebar.com. Open 7 days a week. Make Prost Wine Bar in Frankenmuth or uptown Bay City your destination for great wine and even better times.
In hockey, every play counts, and retirement's no different. At McIntosh & Associates, we're your financial line mates, helping you skate through the tough stuff. Taxes, healthcare, income planning, and more. You bring the goals. We'll help set up the assist. Schedule your visit at wealthmichigan.com or call 989-692-2200. Retirement made clear, with a team that plays to win.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Welcome back. Jonathan Denton here with your out-of-town scores. They're brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. In North Bay, a second period power play goal by Jack Pridham has the Kitchener Rangers out to a 3-1 lead. And the only other game in action right now, the Guelph Storm and the Kingston Frontenacs scoreless after one. That's despite, if my math is correct, almost 90 seconds of 5-on-3 power play time for the Frontenacs across 2 power plays. Guelph able to escape that unscathed in a scoreless tie heading into the second period. Heading into the second period, the Spirit trail the Windsor Spitfires 1-0. Second period action coming up after this on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
At Dow, we believe performance starts long before the whistle blows. It begins in the lab, where science meets sport. From apparel to playing surfaces to gear, we create cutting-edge materials that help drive high performance from lab to stadium. Because in sports, just like in science, every second counts, and every material matters. Dow, at the intersection of sport and science. Learn more at dow.com/sports.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Contact State Farm agent Chris Barrios to create your personal price plan today. You really do get it all at Garber Midland. It's more than just better prices. It's better financing, better selection, and a better overall customer experience. And we're more than the place you buy your vehicle. We're also where your vehicle is serviced by factory-trained technicians with the highest standards of service. Come see how you can get it all at Garber Midland at the corner of Saginaw and Eastman. See all our inventory online at garbermidland.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Soar with us. Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Ready for second period action here on New Year's Eve. The Saginaw Spirit and the Windsor Spitfires 1-0 the lead for the home team after 20 minutes of play. John McLaughlin, the only goal in that first period. Caleb Papineau and Joey Costanzo, the 2 goaltenders today, have been busy. Igor Barabanov against Jack Nesbitt, who wins the faceoff back for the Spitfires to start the second period. It's guided back in on Caleb Papineau, who's able to play with the goal stick. Hayden Bart gets tossed into the boards on a body check. Josh Glavin moves the puck to Igor Barabanov at center, and the Spirit into the offensive zone. A fresh sheet of ice. That puck moving pretty quickly. Left off to the right point. Barch, near side, go. Snaps it back in behind the goal. Around it comes, right side. Bartz again, off the boards. Barabanov taking a man with him. Throws the pass there to James Go, and a stick save made by Costanzo. Rebound picked up by Belches back in behind the Windsor goal. Nesbitt a chop there on James Go, but it's gloved down at the line by Barabanov. Knocked off the puck by Cristoforo. The Spitfires snap it back into the Spirit end. Dimas Jokin gets it back up to James Go with a break man there. That could have been a chance for Igor Barabanov. They cleared out of danger. Cole Davis, the first man to it, back in the offensive zone. Now, big time collision. He gets crunched by Dimas Jokin, and Davis is down in a heap. Puck on the far wall. It's touched up by Jokin. And the whistle is blown 1 minute and 1 second into this second period. In a race for the puck, Jokin a reverse hit there on Cole Davis. He used his back to collide with the Windsor forechecker. And the hands came up to the face on Davis. It was a heavy collision. I've not gotten a look at the replay here up inside the building. Again, we're a little bit limited here whenever we come to Windsor as far as replays go. But from going on the play as we saw it, the Spitfire fans do not particularly care for Dimas Jokin right now. The referees are waving over the alternate captains here for both hockey teams. Jack Nesbitt would like a penalty as Cole Davis, again, is still down on all fours back in the Windsor end. Fourth round pick of the Spitfires back in 2022. 24 points in 31 games on the season. Plays on the right side of that second line with Ethan Garden and Beck-Sultan McKeish. He's back up, being helped over to the Windsor bench by his teammates. And the conference right now between Ryan Hutchison and Joe Monette. And now they are going to bring out the iPad for a review. And again, they can review major penalties. So they've got to decide, or they have decided, that they have the potential for a major penalty here on this hit. That's why the iPad is out, which is a little bit interesting because there was no penalty. Neither official, Ryan Hutchison or Joe Monette, had their arm up in the air while the Windsor player Davis was down on the ice. Dimas Jokin has been brought over to the Saginaw penalty box. There's a 5-minute major on the board right now. And again, you look down at the Spirit bench, there's not a ton of commotion right now. You would expect we go from no penalty to a major and no more Dimas Jokin in this game. And this, if it, again, it's being reviewed right now. This would be an even tougher pill to swallow, as Mitch Young ran Igor Barabanov from behind in yesterday's game in Saginaw. And there was not even consideration of a major penalty. Now, again, Barabanov wasn't hurt. Cole Davis was hurt on this play. But I don't necessarily know that the numbers were fully facing Dimas Jokin. Jokin comes in with a lot of steam. I'd be interested to see what exactly they would call on this. I don't know that there's necessarily a potential for checking from behind. There can't be head contact. Now, did Davis's head go off the boards and maybe the ledge? And again, we're operating without a replay right now. But I believe Davis's face may have gone off the ledge right where the boards meet the glass. And that's not exactly a place you want to hit with your face going 20 miles an hour. But as he's going low to try and stop up, that's what has put him in that position. Ryan Hutchinson's going to go over to talk to Dimas Jokin. He's out of the penalty box. Does he go back over to the Spirit bench, or does he go back down the tunnel? Jokin's shaking his head no. He's saying, I'm safe. There was a cheer from the Spitfire faithful. They thought Jokin was gone. He's going to stay on the Saginaw bench. And a collective sigh of relief. That would have been a pretty big surprise if Jokin had gotten booted from this game. And again, I don't know that the fans inside the building have realized that there's no penalty on this play. The face-off is going to come in the neutral zone here. 18:59 in the first period. Still no score, or no score in the period, I should say. 1-0 on a first period goal from John McLaughlin. Greg Walters, the Windsor Spitfire head coach, has gotten the explanation. Probably not thrilled, but not very animated on the bench. We skated 5-on-5, and most importantly, the Spirit get to hang on to Dimas Jilkin. Also, importantly, they win that neutral zone faceoff and toss this puck back in behind the net of Joey Costanzo. He's out to play. This puck rimmed back up to the far side point. James Go there for the Saginaw Spirit. Takes a running check there from Beck Sultan. McKeish got the elbow up high a little bit. James Go gets another whack there from Ethan Garden on his way through. Carson Harmer down the left side. This is snapped back in. There could be some retribution. The Spitfires taking things into their own hands here. We'll keep an eye on that. Jones, a point shot there, ramped wide off a deflection. Papoy back in behind the net. Fakes the wraparound, chance for the rebound. Jacob Kluche stoned by Costanzo. Up the near wall it comes again. A heavy check as Carson Harmer comes together with Max Brocklehurst. Spitfires are into the offensive zone. Jacob Kluche has the stick under the hands there of Carson Woodall. The Spitfires try to go back up to the point on the delay. They end up clearing the zone on themselves. 2 minutes gone here in the second period. It's still a 1-0 Windsor lead. From their own end, they start into the offensive zone. Up the near side wall, Sebastian Gervais trying to get Saginaw out of danger. McLaughlin closes off the check on Graydon Jones back in behind the Spirit goal. Jones, good slip there, out of danger. Nick Sema up ice with Jensen Geldart. Crosses center red over the blue line. Hits a man in stride. It's James Go. Puts it there. Pad save made by Costanzo. Rebound. Geldart the shot. And another save by Costanzo with the chest protector. Geldart's on the loose puck back behind the net. Nick Sema hits the reverse. Up into the right wing circle. Drops it off. Levi Harper shifting into the corner. Leading rookie blue liner in the Ontario Hockey League. 30 points on the season for Harper. Exchange at the blue line. He gave it away. Trying to find Xander Valeris, who lost his stick, then blew a tire. Odd man break back the other way for the Spitfires. Lemieux dropped it off, and Valeris bails himself out. As this puck back into the neutral zone. Now a 2-on-1 for Saginaw. Sema down the left side. Waits and shoots, and a stick save made by Costanzo. Chaos here. Back and forth we go. Puck back into neutral ice, and this is Jilkin. Fan on the dump back in. Still has the puck taken away by Walton. It's poked back onto the stick of Saginaw's Harper. Received by Klepov, trying to split the defense. A shot fought off by Costanzo. Loose play on Costanzo. Rob Jilkin with the goal stick. A beautiful save right on the goal line. Papineau, as the puck rolled in on him, played it all the way back up to the neutral zone. Given away. Here comes the Spitfires. Backdoor tap and sent wide by Belches. Klepov on this loose puck. Into neutral ice. Cross ice. This is Jilkin. Knifes in for the Spirit. Dropped off Barabanov. Jilkin again down low. Trying to get his way through. Jilkin gets rolled there by Belches coming back. Here come the Spitfires back again. This is ripped back in. Cristoforo sends it around. Jilkin picked it up in neutral ice again. Belches is after him. Run into the skate, I believe, of the official. As Saginaw tried to hit the offensive blue line. Klepov turns this puck in. 15:52 to go here in period 2. 1-0 the lead for the Windsor Spitfires. Things have calmed down for the moment. End-to-end action. Some heart-stopping saves by the Windsor netminder. And the Spitfires guilty of icing here. 15:53 to go in the second period. Costanzo absolutely robbing Dimas Jilkin. The initial save on an Igor Barabanov shot from the top of the circles. It hit him bottom of the glove, top of the pad, maybe a little bit off the body, and rolls back into the blue crease, then down toward the goal line. Costanzo just fell back, and it was an open net, but a really tough angle. The puck was sitting maybe one puck length off the goal line, and that's where Dimas Jilkin made contact with it. And I think Costanzo just got the heel of his paddle on that shot from Jilkin. Otherwise, we're looking at a tie game. Offensive zone faceoff. Back to the blue line for Levi Harper and Jacob Kluche. Spins it down low. Harmer centering feed, looking for Papoy. It's under Costanzo somewhere. Back out of the corner. Now Harmer. Right circle. Near side. Harper the shot. Fought aside by Costanzo. Glove down by Wyatt Kennedy. Saginaw's Papoy is on him. Now Harmer off the wall. Blown up. Papoy's got the puck. Tried to feed a man on the backside. Looking for James go, but couldn't find him. Saginaw's back out to center. Carson Harmer pops right back up. Kluche finds him in the right circle. Harmer looking for Papoy. Now it's Harper that shot. That goes off a leg. It was Cristofaro who blocked it. James go for Carson Harmer. Go, a point shot. That hit Papoy on the way through. Ethan Belchez has Papoy after him. And the Windsor leading goal scorer gets this back into Spirit real estate. James go. Pass up the boards. Papoy trying to catch him sleeping. Now the left side. Kluche. It's into his skates. Back underneath for Carson Harmer. Out of the corner. Harmer finding Levi Harper. Near side, Hayden Barch. Dropped it off the boards. Looking for a turnaround pass there, and it goes up into the Saginaw bench. Carson Harmer has an extra hit for Nathan Games. 14:34 here in the second period. The physicality's ramped up a little bit more. Demas Jokin got cleaned out on that back check. That was part of the initial scrum. That was 2 whistles ago by now. We just didn't get a second to talk about it. Ethan Belchez was coming back hard on the back check, and I don't know if he blew a tire or just lunged to get back to Jokin to try and break up the play at the near goal post. Jokin got a lot of human being right on the head and neck area, and again, he seems to be no worse for wear. He's out there right now on the right wing with Igor Barabanov and Nikita Klepov here on the offensive zone faceoff. 1-0 Windsor, 14.5 to go in the second period. Spitfires win the draw. Braden Jones, after the dump into the Saginaw zone, picks it up off the wall from Blake Barnes. The pass handled by Zhilkin, given away. He's a little handcuffed there. Spitfires send it back underneath the net of Caleb Papineau. Picked up by Klepov. He gets staple gun to the boards by Nathan Games. Zhilkin's lost an edge. This puck goes back in behind the Saginaw goal for Papineau to drop off for Braden Jones. Blake Barnes doesn't like the initial exit pass. Finds another one. This is Barabanov into the offensive zone. Drop pass off the wall. Barabanov to the corner looking for Demas Zhilkin. Klepov is there to follow on. Klepov taking the task. This puck back up the near wall. Barabanov fakes the shot, kept it alive. Center point, Klepov doesn't have a lane. Spins away from his man. Off of Caden Harvey, then to the boards. Klepov keeps it going into the right circle. Lost it. Barabanov helps him get it back. He's into the corner again now with Jonathan Brown. Demas Zhilkin knocks his man Woodall off the puck. Up the near side wall, Levi Harper pivots, finds his man Blake Barnes. Sends it into the right wing corner. Nobody there in a blue jersey. So the Spitfires tap it back around, and this is Carson Woodall again. Nikita Klepov forechecking. Kind of a long shift for this top line here for the Spirit. Spitfires do get it back out to neutral ice, but it goes off the stick of Sebastian Gervais. And it's twisted back into the Spirit end. Caleb Papineau there to exchange with Josh Glavin. Levi Harper leads the charge. Swept back in by Sebastian Gervais. In behind the Windsor net. 12:55 to go, second period. Still a 1-0 Windsor lead. And here come the Spitfires again. Down the left side, the pass too far for Nesbitt. Goes into the boards with Josh Glavin. Levi Harper there too. Off the right wing boards. Here's Jensen Geldart. Stretch pass picked up by Gervais at the line. Bad angle. 1-against-1 off the wall. Looking to return pass for Jensen Geldart. That one's broken up. Here come the Spitfires back the other direction. J.C. Lemieux, one-on-one with Harper. Cuts across the slot. Fought off by Papineau. It's a glove save that sends the puck to the corner. Saginaw gets it back up to center. Andrew Robinson guns it back in for the Spitfires. Papineau knocks it down with the goal stick. 13 saves in this hockey game for Saginaw's goaltender of the afternoon. Jensen Geldart put it back up to center ice. Nick Sema realizes he's got some time. Guides it back in behind Carter Hicks. Sebastian Gervais to the corner boards. Now Carson Harmer tries to hold this puck in the zone for the Spirit. Taken off the wall. Andrew Robinson lays it cross ice for Jack Nesbitt. Away from James Go. Looking there in front of the net. A sweeping pass. Couldn't be tapped home by Cristofaro breaking for the goal. Belchez out of the corner. Fight through Brody Papoy. Papoy's able to poke it out of danger at the last second. And back to center ice. Carson Woodall there for Windsor. Hits Cristofaro. Rides the center ice face-off circle. Throws the puck back in past the net of Caleb Papineau. Blake Barnes off the wall. James Go gave it away in the circle. Belchez alone in front. Great save. Papineau with the blocker. Oh, a gift there for Ethan Belchez. And now Jacob Kluche's pulling it back out to the neutral zone. 2-on-1 down the wing with Papoy. Kluche's shot well read and deflected out of play by the stick of Carson Woodall. 11:21 left in this second period. It stays a 1-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires. Joey Costanzo, Caleb Papineau, worth the price of admission. We're back to Windsor in a moment here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
You're looking for a better price on a better car, so dare to be different. Get to Garber Hyundai on Bay Road in Saginaw, the only Hyundai dealer in the Great Lakes Bay region. See why Hyundai is so much better. Garber's certified factory-trained technicians, knowledgeable parts staff, and dedicated sales team will keep you coming back to Garber Hyundai. You really do get it all at Garber. Dare to be different. Choose better at Garber Hyundai on Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garberhyundai.com.
Hi, this is Caleb Papineau, and you're listening to Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 WSGW.
1-0 Windsor here in the second period on a New Year's Eve afternoon from the WFCU Center, and a lot of entertainment, some drama as well. Saginaw nearly lost Dimas Jilkin to a major penalty, but he has stayed in the game, and we have not seen a shift out of Cole Davis, who was on the receiving end of that hit. We don't see him on the bench. So it looks like Windsor down to 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. And again, they're without some of their typical suspects, some of their top players in Liam Greentree and AJ Spedlessy out at World Juniors. Face-off's going to come in the offensive zone for the Spirit. Carson Harmer has been tossed from the draw, so Jacob Kluche will take it. He and Brody Papoy had a really good chance on a 2-on-1 prior to that break, and they win the face-off. Back up to Carson Harmer. James Go gives it back to Harper. Now a shot goes off the skate, back in behind the Windsor goal. Brody Papoy battling for it there with Jonathan Brown. Windsor gets out of danger, maybe a 3-on-2 developing. They just can't hit their man. Hayden Harley couldn't reel that puck in. Saginaw back to it first. Kluche fumbled. Brown, a point shot, goes off of Carson Harmer to the corner. Follow-up chance, a save made by Papineau on a glancing shot from distance off the stick of J.C. Lemieux. A bit of a crowd gathers in Caleb Papineau's area. There are many differences in personalities from player to player. Goaltenders often follow kind of the same, or at least a very similar. There are common traits between a lot of goaltenders. Usually they're a little bit more on the quiet side. Something happens in the blue crease, hey, not my area. I just stopped the puck. I'm going to go for a little bit of a skate. I don't want to get involved in this. You got to give Caleb Papineau credit. If there is any sort of extracurricular activity on top of his crease, he's right there, and you can tell he's barking. Would love to mic Caleb Papineau up for a game. I'm sure it would be high in entertainment value, and he is playing a fantastic hockey game right now. Brody Papoy cross-ice pass after the D-zone face-off. Kluche down the wing, hesitates, can't get a shot off. Laying out and blocking that opportunity. Good chance on the Windsor defensive side of the puck. Josh Glavin for Brody Papoy. Taps the brakes inside the blue line. Harper backside there, and a shot gets blocked on its way through. Looking for Barch in the right circle. Carson Harmer, a little blind drop-off up high. This is Josh Glavin. Sent back at the right point. Barch there for Carson Harmer. Spinning off of Woodall. 2 Spitfires to him. He pokes the puck up now. And in the left circle, this is Brody Papoy. Stops off. Moves into the corner again. Papoy for Josh Glavin. At the point, a shot into traffic. Knocked down on its way through. Kluche gets after the rebound, though. Back underneath it goes. Past Carson Harmer. Kicked at by the skate of Hayden Barch. Harmer there. Another point shot rolling to the net there by Dimas Jilkin. From long range, the pad save is made by Costanzo. Saginaw tries to get a line change here. Spitfires tap this in. A stretch pass on the dump in. Dimas Jilkin, a long toss out of his own end for Barabanov into the right wing circle. He doubles back, top of the zone. Jilkin joins the play late. Barabanov still holds it in. Now near side Levi Harper. Given back up. Barabanov there for James Go. Barabanov again. Tripped up by Walton. Puck coming back the other way. Spitfires might have a break. As play continues, James Go does well to hold up Walton. Now it's back into the neutral zone. Barabanov there for Dimas Jilkin. 1-on-1 against the defender. Takes a shot, ramped up Kennedy's skate. Jilkin's got it back behind the net. Kennedy picks his pocket. This one is out of a dangerous area for the Spirit. 6'5" Wyatt Kennedy has one of the better reaches on the blue line here for the Windsor Spitfires. Connor Walton, 6'5" as well. His ain't bad. They get this back out to neutral ice, and Sebastian Gervais, fresh on the bench, waits for Klepov to touch up on what would have been an offside call. Cristofaro takes over back in the Windsor zone. 8:46 to go. Second period, 1-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires. Jensen Geldart over the offensive blue line, looking to find Sebastian Gervais on the back door. The Spitfires intercept and shut that opportunity down. Cristoforo gets wrapped up by James Go on the far side wall. Belchez gets locked up with Levi Harper. Nesbitt now tries to take a piece out of Nikita Klepov. Spitfires are back in there after blood. Here's Cristoforo, a shot in stride. Pad saved by Papineau. Rebound, they score! Belchez up over the glove of Papineau to make it 2-0. It turned into a scramble in front of Caleb Papineau. He makes the first save with the left pad on Cristoforo. The rebound comes back in between the two Spirit defensemen. It looked as though James Go and his defensive partner were each expecting the other to take care of that loose puck. It's a bit of a case of Papineau overcommitting, losing his position, but you would hope that James Go could take care of that rebound in between the face-off dots. Belchez, smooth, silky backhand around the fallen goaltender, and it's 2-0 on his 21st of the year, but the Spirit go back to work in the offensive end. A quick shot by Nick Sema, guided to the corner by Costanzo. Spitfires give it away. Gervais goes back to work, right circle, shovels one towards the net off a Windsor skate. Jensen Geldart taking into the board. Spitfires are there. They're working around the far side wall. McLaughlin gets after it with Blake Barnes. Nick Sema on the loose puck, has some room in the right circle, takes a shot, and that one goes wide. Jones from the left point. Back underneath it goes. Sebastian Gervais in behind the Windsor goal. Gets some help from Nick Sema. Bouncing puck. Carter Hicks is quickly to him. Sema guides it back underneath. Hicks is on it again. Given right back into the skates to Nick Sema. Does what he can to keep it alive. Two Spitfires over to him. Sema gets help. It's Sebastian Gervais, right point. Blake Barnes, the shot redirected on its way by Sema into the glass. Lemieux hits Braden Jones. Spitfires move it back around in behind their own net. Big time hit as Nick Sema closes off Carter Hicks. This puck rolls back into the Spirit end. Gervais tries to tomahawk that off the stick of J.C. Lemieux. He gives it there for Carson Woodall. Spitfires alive at the top of the zone. This one given back. McLaughlin went to turn back to the bench and go for a change. The puck was coming his way to keep it alive anyway. J.C. Lemieux, far side. Woodall shot off the outside of the frame. Nick Sema up the far boards. He's got two Spitfires all over him. At the end of a long shift, he gets knocked off this puck. Blake Barnes for his D partner, Braden Jones. Back up the center. It's tipped into the Spirit bench by Carson Harmer. 6:38 to go in the second period. Stays 2-0. We get a face-off in the neutral zone. To go back to the different personalities of goaltenders, as we mentioned, Caleb Papineau is typically a backwards hat and towel guy when he's on the bench. Stepan Shurigan, a helmet at all times guy. You know what? That puck is pretty darn close to his head, so maybe Shurigan's onto something. Just broken up a streak of 5 consecutive starts for Stepan Shurigan. He's playing some really good hockey as of late. Just 1 goal in each of his last 2 games. Now this one thrown to the front of the net. Great point-blank save by Papineau. The rebound chance. They've glanced off his left arm again. It bounces in front. Nesbitt, Belchez, they go right back to work with the top line here. Kennedy at the right point. Spitfires want to start to run away with this one. Papineau, 2 more good saves there. Saginaw's got to get back out of the zone, and they do. Klepov leads the charge in. Delays at the blue line. Takes a shot, and that one goes high. Ethan Belchez knocked off the puck by Dimas Yilkin. Belchez drops it back into his end. Right up through center. Nesbitt. The soft touch off the glass. Back in behind Caleb Papineau. Line change for both teams. Glavin gave it away. Back on the ice is Cole Davis. His first shift, I believe, since taking that check from Dimas Yilkin. Bexalton McKeish back in for the Spitfires. This is Ethan Garden out of the left corner. Looking in front. Shot deflects off the backside of the goal. Garden's back to work back behind the net. They rim it back up to the right point. Can't be handled there by Jonathan Brown. So it's taken back out at center. Spitfires come back in. McKeish down the near wing. Tries to go under Josh Glavin again. Still took a check there. Barabanov back in the Spirit end. He's got to fight off some more stick checks. Davis comes up with a high hit on Barabanov. Carson Woodall's on this puck back in the Spitfires end with 5 left in the second. 2-0 Spitfires. Belchez has the only goal in the period. And They knife their way back into the offensive zone. This is Carson Woodall throwing it towards the front of the net. Out the other side, McLaughlin, a shot blocked on its way through. McLaughlin pulls the rebound out. That's a right pad save by Papineau from about 15 feet off the blue crease. Carson Woodall spins off the boards here. For the Windsor Spitfires in the offensive zone. Another point shot through traffic. Pad save by Papineau. Brody Papoy back out to center. Can't be knocked down by the one hand of Jacob Cloutier. Spitfires back to neutral ice. Big time hit as McLaughlin and Glavin come together. Brody Papoy tries to duck off the check there for McLaughlin. What a shift for him and a delayed penalty coming. Papineau to the bench. Jacob Cloutier's wrapped up with McLaughlin right now. I don't know if Cloutier knows that there's a penalty coming. They're going to keep on talking. I think Cloutier's figured it out. 6-on-5. Klepov leads the charge in. Snaps his shot. That's off the skate of Woodall. 4:07 left in the second period. 2-0 the Spirit trail. A penalty against the Windsor Spitfires will send them to their first IBEW Local 557 power play when we return in a moment here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
Mid-Michigan Canine Academy's Redemption Crew loves Saginaw and the surrounding communities who have blessed us so much, and we are concerned about the epidemic of rehome dogs and dogs left at shelters. If your dog is a handful, or if you're thinking about rehoming your dog, let us help you with its behavioral challenges. Our 7-day doggy boot camp can help. Not all dogs are as fortunate as Henry the Hockey Dog, but they all deserve a second chance. Give us a call at Mid-Michigan Canine Academy and let us help you transform your dog's behavior and your life.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Back inside the WFCU Center, it's a 2-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires here on this Wednesday afternoon. But Saginaw to their first their first IBW Local 557 power play of the game, a tripping penalty, we believe, to John McLaughlin. 4:07 left in this period, and a crossroads opportunity. The Spirit have been under siege here in this second. Their power play unsuccessful, 0 for 1 in last night's game against the Sarnia Sting. Saginaw 19.4% of the man advantage this year, 13th best in the OHL. Windsor 87.1% of the PK, nobody better. Face off in the left circle. It's about a 50-50 toss-up, and the Spirit have it back. Levi Harper just inside the line. Into the bumper spot for Barabanov. Now Klepov right wing, and a rising shot by Harper sent high and wide. Thrown back around off the glass. And back out to center ice where Levi Harper's got to pick this one up. Harper from neutral ice. Slowly meanders his way. And fires it back in. I think everybody was expecting the drop-off. He gets it back in deep. Gervais can't hang on to that puck. Davis is there. Clipped Barabanov on the clearing attempt, and here come the Spitfires shorthanded. 7 shorthanded goals so far this season, so more than a threat. But this is Levi Harper picking it back up with nobody in his zip code. Drop back for Barabanov. Fakes the sweeping pass across, gets through Cristoforo. Barabanov taken down, play going to continue. This puck pops up just inside the line. Given away, Barabanov. Sets up shop. Levi Harper center point. 3 minutes left in the period, halfway through the Spirit power play, the first of the game. Gervais back up to the right point. Nikita Klepov. Near side Harper. Throws it down to the goal line. Dima Zhilkin in the circle. Throws it back on through. Nikita Klepov. Right wing circle. Waits and shoots, and a save made. There's no rebound as Costanzo hangs on. As Gervais getting a rough ride from Wyatt Kennedy. And a crowd gathers after. Could have been something called on that trip there against Barabanov, but during the delayed penalty against the Spitfires, Jacob Cloutier got a little bit wrapped up with John McLaughlin and very well could have been called for some sort of interference or roughing penalty that would have evened things up at 4-on-4. He didn't. It wasn't. So there might be a little bit of liberty being given to the Spitfires here for the next couple of minutes. 2:49 left in the second period. 42 seconds left on Saginaw's IBEW Local 557 power play. They trail Windsor 2-0 here on New Year's Eve. Second power play unit is out. They've got a little bit more time to work with than they normally would. Sema, Cloutier, Papoy, Carson Harmer, and James Go. But they have to work back into their own end as the Spitfires clear off the draw. Caleb Papineau lays a puck down in the trapezoid behind his net for James Go. Carson Harmer up the near wing. Throws it back in behind the net of Joey Costanzo. Kluche and Harmer in hard on the forecheck. Jack Nesbitt on this puck off the glass. Just put up and over the head of Brody Papoy. It's right on the edge of the trapezoid for Caleb Papineau to set up. Last 10 seconds here on the McLaughlin penalty. As James Go streaks into the offensive end. Throws a pass that was too far ahead of Nick Sema. Go rims it back around. Out of the box. Back at even strength. Saginaw on the offensive zone. Papoy the shot. Kick saved by Costanzo. Rebound is given up. Spitfires go off the wall. Papoy knocks it off the boards, though. Kept it alive. Carson Harmer. And that shot there at the whistle on the offside. Not much of a crowd as it was kind of bang, bang at the whistle, but the Spitfires will come over to let Carson Harmer know they don't appreciate the shot. 1:55 left in the second period. Still a 2-0 game. Spitfires looking to make it 3 in a row with a victory here. 4-1 at Flint on December the 28th. 6-2 against the Sioux Greyhounds going into the break. Spitfires have won 6 out of their last 10 hockey games. They were out to quite a start to this season here. Won their first 7 hockey games. As this puck is thrown back and behind the Saginaw netminder Papineau. Bartz takes a hit, moves the puck to Klepov. This is Dima Zhilkin in the neutral zone. Into the offensive end. Cutting back, looking for an option. Right circle, a spin, and a drop back. Zhilkin fakes the slap shot, takes one there. It goes into traffic. Blocked by Ethan Belchez, and this one back out to neutral ice. Tough to get shots through in this second period for Saginaw. Zhilkin's back in his own end to restart again. Zhilkin in with speed, takes a shot. That doesn't get to the net. Into the corner, then back around. This is Graydon Jones at the left point. Back up high. Barabana between his own legs. Moved at right point. James Go changes the angle. That's a shot go, and that's a save by Costanzo that, again, does not have a rebound. That'll be one of the difference makers in this game. Pucks are sticking to the chest of Joey Costanzo. 1:03 left in this second period. Fresh bodies out for everybody. An offensive zone draw for the Saginaw Spirit. And Brody Papoy, Carson Harmer, Jacob Kluche line stays out again. 2 points for Harmer last night, 2 for Papoy, 3-point night for Jacob Kluche, goal and 2 helpers. They've had good chances in this game. That exchange back off the faceoff, fumbled by James Go, so the Spirit have to go back into their own end. Final minute of the second. Can the Spirit break through here before the buzzer? Brody Papoy dropped off the wall now for James Go. Now for Harmer, a sweeping shot and a chest save made by Costanzo. He dives on the rebound. It's not hung on to. And there's a little bit more of an exchange after. Costanzo pulling out his helmet, looking around right now. Not sure if he got an extra bump. 44.9 left in the second period. And the helmets in the Canadian Hockey League for goaltenders all have to be the straight bars, the straight cage. You can't get a puck, you can't get a stick through unless you go zero tape on the butt end of your stick. You probably can't even get that through either, which is obviously a good thing. But as soon as goaltenders get out through junior hockey and they get up into the pro levels, the option for the cat eye is what it's called. It's got a larger eye hole. There is risk for things to get through, but not at this level. So I thought for a moment maybe Costanzo had taken something there. Ooh, shot back into the corner off the faceoff for the Spirit. Pinballed back in front. Does not end up as a shot on goal. Now a chance back the other way as James Go knocks it away from Bexalt and McKeish. Brody Papoy moves the puck for Jacob Kluche. 27 to go in the period. Knocked down by Carson Harmer from hip height as he gets in over the offensive blue line. He gets taken out of the play, though. A good hit from the Windsor defenders, and that'll be off the stick of Kluche with 15 to go. Still in on the forecheck. Spitfires have it, though. They turn this puck back up. The center red. Backhanded in by Cole Davis. Caleb Papineau's there. Got to navigate out of danger. Levi Harper looking up ice. Maybe one more try here. Off the boards for Papoy. Can't reel it in. That'll do it for the second. Carson Woodall thought there might have been an icing. Brody Papoy. Jacob Kluche. A little bit of a stick there for Jack Nesbitt. They exchange words. Kluche's been mixing it up here in this game. They'll need a little bit more. Saginaw heads into the third period down 2-0. Shots 22-21. Saginaw through 40 minutes. They're close. They got to figure something out here in the third. A break, and Jonathan's ready for you. Second intermission report coming up after this on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
Enjoy the spirit of Frankenmuth and score big with your kids at the indoor water parks. The puck stops here in Funtown, where fan favorites include chicken and Christmas, but there's really so much more. Arcades, breweries, carriage rides, shopping, and pretzel rolling. Frankenmuth, where we leave the icing to the dessert. 800 Funtown. No matter how cold it is outside or in the hockey rink, there's loads of indoor fun waiting just down the road in Frankenmuth.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Contact State Farm agent Kathy Taffel to create your personal price plan today.
Disability Network Mid-Michigan promotes and encourages independence for all people with disabilities. Our vision is to create accessible and inclusive communities where everyone has opportunities to live the life they choose. Whether you're looking for a job, skills to become self-sufficient, trying to find the right assistive technology, or know someone who wants to move out of a nursing facility, we are here for you. Contact Disability Network Mid-Michigan today, the disability experts in your community.
When you're ready for checking that earns interest and gives you perks, Merc Perks Plus from Mercantile Bank is here. With a competitive interest rate and perks like travel services, cashback rewards, and identity protection, Merc Perks Plus has everything you need for your busy lifestyle. Merc Perks Plus also offers discounts on consumer loans and access to almost 40,000 fee-free MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mercbank.com/mercperksplus. Member FDIC.
It's time for your intermission report. In the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, here is Jonathan Dent.
The Spirit put together some good time with the puck in the second period, but Windsor proves deadly off the rush, and it's 2-0 after 2 periods of play. Let's take a look back at that middle frame, brought to you by Raymond. Empower your purpose. It was 1-0 Spitfires heading into this period. A big early hit by Dima Jokin on Cole Davis is ruled to be clean after a review. Things stay 5-on-5. Early on, an odd man rush for Saginaw from the Windsor blue line is stopped by Costanzo. First, Klepov right in front is stopped with the glove. Then he reaches out with the goal stick while sprawled out on the ice to rob Jilkin from a steep angle.
It's poked back onto the stick of Saginaw's Harper. Received by Klepov, trying to split the defensive shot. Fought off by Costanzo. Loose play. Oh, Costanzo. Rob Jilkin with the goal stick. A beautiful save right on the goal line.
The Spitfires spring Lemieux soon after one-on-one with Harper. Harper forces a tough angle that Papineau is able to hold off. And soon after, Papineau slams the door on Belchez right in front off a feed from Ethan Garden off the rush.
Blake Barnes off the wall. James Go gave it away in the circle. Belchez alone in front. Great save. Papineau with the blocker. Oh, a gift there for Ethan Belchez.
The Spirit put together some good time in the Windsor end over the course of a couple shifts, but at 11 minutes, 39 seconds, Anthony Cristoforo breaks into the Spirit end. Papineau stops his shot, but Ethan Belchez hops on the loose puck and scores on the backhand to make it 2-0, a secondary assist by Wyatt Kennedy.
Belchez gets locked up with Levi Harper. Nesbitt now tries to take a piece out of Nikita Klepov. Spitfires are back in there after blood. Here's Cristoforo, a shot in stride. Pat saved by Papineau. Rebound, they score! Belchez up over the glove of Papineau to make it 2-0.
The Spirit continue to hold on to some good possession in the offensive end, but Windsor keeps putting together some breakouts the other way. They're good for 1 or 2 chances before the Spirit regain control. Saginaw gets the first power play of the afternoon after John McLaughlin takes a tripping penalty. The Spits are able to kill that one off without too much coming their way from the Spirit, and they keep their defensive end locked down with Costanzo able to keep whatever comes his way saved without a rebound. 2-0 the score after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal in the second, almost a complete inversion of what we saw in the first. Saginaw 14 to Windsor's 8, a game total so far of 22-21 with the Spirit out front. Saginaw 0 for 1 on the only power play so far this afternoon, but a goal from Ethan Belchez, his 21st of the season, assisted by Cristoforo and Kennedy, have the Spits out to that 2-0 lead. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, breaking down that second period a little bit with Dylan here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
Looking for an easier way to travel? Fly from MBS International Airport, conveniently located in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region. No long lines, simple to get around, and for the best deals, always book directly at mbsairport.org, with Delta and United providing access to wherever you want to fly. MBS is putting the world right outside your door. MBS International Airport. Save time and money and fly from nearby. Visit mbsairport.org. Garber Ford is proud to serve Bay City with the same customer service the Great Lakes Bay region has come to expect since 1907. Our Ford team of experts you know and trust are dedicated to making your experience even better. And your vehicle is serviced by factory-trained technicians with the highest standards. We have everything you need, even tires. Get it all at Garber Ford. Come see us in Bay City at the intersection of Euclid, Wilder, and Better. Online at GarberFordBayCity.com.
My Michigan Health is your go-to place for comprehensive brain, stroke, and spine care right here in your community. Our expert neuroscience team provides care close to home with multiple certified stroke centers throughout the region, including the only comprehensive stroke center in Saginaw. With 24/7 medical expertise, the latest diagnostic tools, and advanced treatments, we're ready when you need us most. Learn more at mymichigan.org/neuro.
Henry the Hockey Dog loves food and he loves people, which is why Rescue Ministries is partnering with Henry to provide 5,000 meals to our homeless neighbors. It costs $3 to provide a warm meal at the mission, and Henry is asking for your help. Right, Henry? Text Henry 2025 to 50155 to make a donation. My Michigan Health also cares and is willing to match your donation right now. Help Henry provide a meal and consider donating today.
Your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey is WSGW.
Welcome back. Jonathan Dent here in the studios. We bring in from the Town Place Suites by Marriott broadcast booth, Dylan Clark. After 2 periods of play, Dylan, the score is 2-0, a goal in both periods from the Spitfires. We talked a lot about the goaltenders after the first period, but let's focus in a little bit on Caleb Papineau. He hasn't had a whole lot of time in net this season. I think this is really one of his stronger performances. I've liked how composed he looks between the pipes here this afternoon.
No, I would agree with you. He's made some really good saves. I think that second goal from Ethan Belchez, you would probably want to have it back. Rebound control on the initial Costanzo shot wasn't ideal. He needed some help from his defenseman, and he didn't get it. And then he was out of position a little bit, kind of flailing at the puck on the Belchez goal. But other than that, I mean, he's really battled through. He's gotten a lot of shots. He's seen a lot of shots through traffic off a couple of deflections. He's been really responsible in this game. I really like to see the battle from Caleb Papineau. Joey Costanzo's doing the same thing, though, down at the other end for the Windsor Spitfires. You know, the Spirit have gotten really close. They had some great looks in that second period. Costanzo's bailed out the Spitfires time and time again. We've been treated to a really good goaltending matchup here in this game. Yeah. From a Spirit standpoint, you'd like to see things even up a little bit, though. You'd like to see maybe a flaw or two out of Joey Costanzo.
Well, at the end of that period, you did mention Costanzo not really giving up any rebounds. Is that rebound control really making that big of a difference here for the Spirit?
I think so. On some of these chances, for sure. And it's kind of funny because at least in this game, the puck's either stuck to Costanzo or the rebounds have been kind of egregious. Some of them have been kicked out pretty long and into some kind of dangerous areas of the ice. But again, it helps when you've got Wyatt Kennedy, Connor Walton back out there, cleaning up some of the rebounds. Jonathan Brown, any of the rebounds that are kicked out long into dangerous areas, they've been mopped up. And again, that was the difference on the 2-0 goal. If somebody takes care of that rebound in front of Caleb Papineau, it's still a 1-0 hockey game or maybe something else. But that's the difference in this game. When you play the top teams in the league, the margins are razor thin, and the Spirit know this because they've been one of the top teams in the league in the last couple of years. Right now, they're trying to claw their way out of the basement. They're back in a playoff spot. It's good to be in games like this again. You know, like you think back to some of the games that we saw during that 6-game losing skid. They were never in it. It was down 3-0, down 4-1, and then maybe come back and make it close. But they're in a dogfight right now. I mean, it's a 2-0 game. A couple of bounces of the puck, and they're right back into it. The effort cannot waver. You got to control what you can control, and the Spirit can absolutely control how hard they're playing, how hard on pucks they are being. I really like the game so far from Carson Harmer and Brody Popoy. Jacob Kluche as well. I think, we go back to Coach's Corner, he mentioned him coasting a little bit, looking for opportunities. I think we see a little bit out of that from Kluche right now. Not to say that he's not engaged, but he's waiting for plays to develop and trying to read off of that. Read the play, continue to move, and keep your feet going, and the good things will follow. That line, I believe, if the Spirit are to get back into this hockey game, they will probably be the one, I think, after 40 minutes of play to get Saginaw on the board here. Brody Popoy, Carson Harmer, and Jacob Kluche.
Absolutely. Saginaw's had that time in the offensive end as well. Mentioned the shots on goal favoring the Spirit in that second period, 14-8. Game total of 22-21 right now. Just lots of time in the offensive end. And how often do we hear Coach Lazary talking about, well, they had the time in the offensive end. They had that puck possession. Windsor just able to lock things down. You got to think eventually if something breaks through, man, it'll be an empowering time for them.
Well, that's the thing. We look at last night against Sarnia. Saginaw broke through, made it a 2-1 game to take the lead, and then the floodgates opened, and it was 5-1 by the time it was all said and done. I don't know that would happen today. I don't see why it couldn't, but you've got to get that one. That's the big thing. I feel like if the Spirit can get that one, then there's no reason they can't take control here in this third period. But again, from a psychological standpoint, the lid is on the net right now. They got to find a way to pry the lid off.
We'll see if they're able to do that here in the third period. The score 2-0. Dylan, as always, thank you for your time. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a look at our out-of-town scores presented by Buffalo Wild Wings here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Yeah, I know. It's officially still winter out there, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun in the sun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea knows how to turn up your day drinking fun all year long. I mean, there's even a sun on those bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea is made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol, which goes down smooth. So whether you're knee-deep in snow or making footprints in the sand, be sure to look for Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
So, we're finally ready to plan for retirement, but who do we trust?
Our friends at TriStar Trust. They've been here for 25 years right here in our community, and they'll be here for the next 25.
That's the kind of team I want in my corner.
TriStar Trust helps you plan your retirement, manage your investments, and build the future you've been dreaming of. Because when it comes to your goals, it's your time to shine. Visit TriStarTrust.com.
Did you know the University of Michigan Flint is the fastest growing public university in the state? How do we do it? Access to top-ranked degree programs and one of the largest alumni networks. Access to small class sizes with renowned U of M professors. And access to the Go Blue free tuition guarantee. Because sometimes in life where you're going depends on where you go. Learn more about our growth at uofmflint.edu.
Your region, your team. You're listening to Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW.
Welcome back. Jonathan Dent here with your out-of-town scores presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. A lot of action around the Ontario Hockey League here on a New Year's Eve, at least here in the afternoon. The Kitchener Rangers visiting the North Bay Battalion. That game has wrapped up. North Bay started the scoring. 3 straight from the Rangers had them out to a 3-1 lead. The Battalion strike back, but an empty netter seals that one for the Rangers 4-2 on the road. A match between the Owen Sound Attack and Brampton Steelheads that was scheduled to take place here this afternoon has been postponed. They'll be rescheduling that. In Kingston, the Frontenacs currently tied up 2-2 with the Guelph Storm. Kingston started the scoring early in the second. They follow it up with a goal from Matthew Henderson, his first of the season at 12 minutes 43 seconds. But then in the last minute of the second period, Charlie Paquette scores twice within 10 seconds, first at 1939, then at 1949 to make it a tie game heading into the third period. We'll be keeping an eye on that one as we go into the third period ourselves. A little bit later on, well, just minutes from now, the Sarnia Sting dropping the puck in London against the Knights, and the Sioux Greyhounds hosting the Flint Firebirds. A little bit later, the Brantford Bulldogs visit the Erie Otters. The Oshawa Generals visit the Niagara Ice Dogs. And at 7:30 here on a New Year's Eve, the Sudbury Wolves visit the Barrie Colts. Plenty of action around the Ontario Hockey League to wrap up 2025. The last third period of the 2025 year for the Saginaw Spirit coming up after this. They're looking to make up a 2-0 deficit against the Windsor Spitfires. Dylan will have the call of the third after this on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
If you're a homeowner, you have plenty to think about, like cleaning the gutters, investigating that banging noise, deciding which flowers to plant this year. One thing about being a homeowner you can think less about, questions about home insurance when you have State Farm. Your local State Farm agent is there to help you understand your coverage options and choose the protection that meets your needs, so you can focus on your home, and we'll focus on helping protect it.
Contact State Farm agent Scott Seaman to create your personal price plan today.
We're Durolast. We make the world's best roof. As one of the country's largest roofing manufacturers, we have locations across North America. But for more than 40 years, Saginaw has been our home. Like Saginaw, Durolast has a can-do, never-quit attitude. And just like Saginaw, our people make us strong. Innovative, resilient. That's the spirit of Saginaw. That's Durolast, the world's best roof.
Get it all at Garber Chevrolet Saginaw. It's more than just better prices. It's better financing, better selection, and a better overall experience. Our expert technicians are factory trained to the highest standards, keeping your vehicle in top condition. And we have everything for your automotive needs, even tires. Get to Garber Chevy Saginaw today and see how you get it all at Garber, Gratiot Road, Saginaw. Online, GarberChevroletSaginaw.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Find space at Frankenmuth Spring Hill Suites, where you can savor your time away with the little extras that are included. Each studio suite features extra room to spread out when on the road with your family or your team. Airy beds are piled high with pillows for that little bit of extra comfort. And an innovative 3-in-1 trundle sofa provides even more sleeping options. Book your next stay at Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, where every room is more than a room.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW, Carlton, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland.
Third period here from the WFCU Center. A 2-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires. Saginaw's got some work to do. They've got some really good chances, though. They outshot the Spitfires 14-8 in the second, 22-21 in the game. Caleb Papineau has played really well here in this contest. It is a fresh sheet of ice. The possibilities are endless. Let's see what we got here for this third period. Final third period of 2025. Barabanov, Zilkin, and Klepov out for Chris Lazary, Jack Nesbitt, Ethan Belchez, and Anthony Cristoforo. Counter for Greg Walters, head coach of the Windsor Spitfires. Saginaw looking to extend the victory streak to 4 for the first time this season. They control off the opening draw. They're down 2-0. They got to get to work here in the third period. Walton back into the Windsor end. Picks it up, dished off the boards for Kennedy. Dima Zilkin receives it back off the stick of Belchez, turns a shot towards the net. That's blocked by Belchez, and Zilkin's going to chase it back down to center. Over to Josh Glavin. The center red. 4 players come together, 2 aside. The puck picked up by Kennedy and Cristoforo. lifts it back out. It lands right in front of Zilkin, moved by Barch to Saginaw's Glavin. He takes a check, moves the puck. Zilkin sidesteps around Kennedy. He's in on the forecheck to pressure Walton. Zilkin read the puck well. Just couldn't get all of his stick on it, and so the Spitfires have it. Cristofaro, the long shooting, goes off of Carson Harmer. Cristofaro gets back after it, poked away by Levi Harper at the Saginaw blue line. 60 seconds gone here in the third period, 2-0 Windsor. James Go looking for the stretch pass. Can't be knocked down by Brody Popoy, and it goes down for an icing. Relocates things back to the dots in Caleb Papineau's neighborhood. Saginaw has gone into the third period trailing 23 times this year. They've picked up 5 victories. They've picked up points 8 times. In 2 of their last 3 wins, however, they have had to come from behind. Oshawa was up 4-3 going into the third prior to the break. There's a shot into traffic, and that goes off the outside of the cage. Back up at center ice, Brody Popoy in a battle right now by the Windsor bench. Carson Harmer throws a shoulder into Bexalt and McKeish. Levi Harper, a little head fake. That'll send McKeish tumbling. Carson Harmer up the near side and into the offensive zone. Saginaw moving left to right here in this third period. Traveling Navy jerseys, red shoulders, red piping, a little bit of white trim and numbers. Levi Harper gets knocked into the Saginaw bench here on a check. Carson Harmer pulls up with that puck. Now at the left side, Brody Popoy. Into the offensive end, we're going to have a high sticking penalty against Levi Harper. That's the stoppage. There were no penalties in the first. Only one against the Windsor Spitfires in the second, and this is not the news that we want to see to start period 3. Levi Harper for high sticking. Saginaw to its first Stormmaster Exteriors penalty kill of the game. They were perfect last night against the Sarnia Sting, killed off 3 out of 3. They were nearly perfect up in Sault Ste. Marie, 5 out of 6 on Sunday. But they are 19th in the OHL. Belche's going to step into this one off the draw, and that one may have clipped a couple of hairs on the chin of Anthony Cristofaro, but he's okay, and he's got the puck in the corner. Now back into the slot for Belche, sends it wide. Up and around, it's met by Jacob Kluche, or Nick Sema rather. He gets it out of danger. Costanzo knocks this down for Woodall. Windsor third best in the OHL. 36 power play goals on the year, 26.7%. Here's a shot by Woodall. That one turned aside easily by the left pad of Papineau. That hits an odd chunk of the Windsor boards and just pops right back into the circle. So Nick Seaman's going to clear again. A little bit of a fortunate bounce there for the Spirit. Cole Davis sent it back around in a blown tire on the part of Carson Woodall. He pops back up. Spitfires finally get this puck back to neutral ice. 1:10 left on the power play, and this shot ramps off of Hayden Barch and out of play. That puck rimmed around back and behind the Spirit net. It hit a little gap in the kick plate in that left wing corner, and instead of following the wall all the way around up to the point, we call it the pinball flipper, just right back up to the middle of the ice. It was headed right for that near side faceoff dot. Fortunately for Saginaw, Nick Sema was the one standing there. Off the faceoff in the Spirit end. Comes back and behind the goal of Papineau, then to the circle. Pulled up by Jacob Kluche in between a couple of Spitfires. Gets there. Gets it down the ice. 55 seconds left on a high-sticking penalty to Saginaw's Levi Harper. Spitfires up 2-0, trying to make it 3. Caden Harvey through 3 Spirit players. Loose puck in the slot. Swept away by Kluche, but not out of the zone. Robinson keeps it alive. Second power play unit is on here for Greg Walters. Caden Harvey from the right wing boards, right in front there, looking for Garden. May have been swept away by the stick of Papineau at the last second. 30 on the power play. Robinson swept over, near side, picked up in the corner by Bexalt and McKeish. Up to Robinson at the point. Fan on the cross ice pass, Kluche there, and the puck is finally cleared out to center by Graydon Jones. But Robinson right back on his horse and in for the Spitfires. Gave it away though. This is James Go back behind the Spirit net. Throws it back up, and it's gloved down by Robinson at center. Here they come again. Drop pass to the blue line, picked up. They work backwards here as they get more bodies on. Wyatt Kennedy waiting. Power play time expires. The Spirit have killed it off. That's a big time kill. A couple of good saves. I think 2 shots there. Caleb Papineau kicked them both out. Here comes Nick Sema back at 5-on-5. Sema steps in. Shot goes off the stick of Walton. Comes to rest in the corner boards. This one cut up by Sebastian Gervais. Max Brocklehurst takes it away, though, for the Spitfires, and Walton leads the charge back in. Over the offensive blue line for Windsor. Behind the Spirit goal again. Jensen Gelnart, the drop off for Josh Glavin. On him is Sean Costello. 2 against 2 with now Hayden Barch stepping in to make it 3 for the Spirit. They've got the numbers back behind their own net. They don't move the puck, though. 15:47 and counting down left in this third period. Finally, the puck comes out. Sema looking. Brocklehurst beats into the puck. Now back up high it comes. Just barely held in. No, it wasn't. Jonathan Brown, that puck leaks back out into the neutral zone. And the Spirit get a fortunate break here. Hayden Barch in a disagreement with Caden Harvey. Barch holding his chin. I think he might have caught a stick up high on that most recent exchange. 15:36 left in this third period. Step one for Saginaw, though they didn't expect it, was killing off that Levi Harper high sticking penalty they did. That is a tough bunch of Windsor players to do it on. They're going to throw this in on Caleb Papineau. Faked the drop-off as it landed in his glove. Looked like he wanted to throw it to his left, then to his right. And there were too many Spitfires around him, so he just hangs on. 15:30 here in this third period. But now the faceoff is in the defensive zone for the Spirit. So on the one hand, they don't force any danger, but offensive zone draw here for the visitors, or for the home team, I should say. Jack Nesbitt gets waved out. Now it's Belchez. Shoots and scores right off the faceoff. Are you kidding me? It was off the tie-up. And before anybody could blink, Belchez turns around and whips it over the shoulder of Caleb Papineau. That was ridiculous. It caught everybody by surprise. 15:26 to go here in this third period. That's a tough release to read. A marvelous shot there by Ethan Belchez. And unfortunately for Caleb Papineau, it's going to be on quite a few highlight tapes all the way up into the NHL draft. 3 unanswered here for the Spitfires. They're up 3-0, 15:28 to go in the third. 3-0 is tough to come back from in the third period, regardless of the situation. But the way that puck found the back of the net, that might make it even more difficult. Josh Glavin back in the Spirit end. Nikita Klepov moves the puck to Hayden Barch. Over the offensive blue line, the drop pass. Zilkin tries to dart around Nesbitt. Barch gets hit behind the play. Puck in front of the penalty boxes again. Josh Glavin can't get it out of the log jam of bodies. 2 against 2, and Bonov trying to reach in as well. Squirts out. Cristoforo. Move back. Walton now at the left side of the red line. It's locked up with Nikita Klepov. Back now for Hayden Barch. Then this is Josh Glavin up the far side boards. Dima Zilkin cuts to the middle. Tries to do it himself. Spitfires take it away from him. 14.5 to go in the third period. Still 3-0 to get it back out to center. Carson Harmer can't find Jacob Kluche. Walton back over to Wyatt Kennedy. Pass up the far wing. Just angled back in behind the goal of Caleb Papineau. Makes a quick pass there for Blake Barnes. He's stripped here. Ethan Garden back down low. Back Sultan McKeish, right side. This is Woodall, a shot from the circle. Fought off and held by Caleb Papineau. 14-11 to go here in this third period. Stays 3-0 and an offensive zone face-off upcoming here for the Spitfires. You feel a little bit for Caleb Papineau. Playing a really strong hockey game here, and that one right off the face-off. That's a tough pill to swallow. It's a good shot by Ethan Belchez, but you'd like to have it back. As this is Caden Harvey from the right dot on the face-off. Spirit winning it instead. Carson Harmer saw to that. This is Graydon Jones to carry. Moves the puck for Brody Popoy. The return pass. Here comes Jones in the circle, and that shot held by Costanzo. It's resting up on his right shoulder, and he does get a whistle and a face-off. And we are 6 minutes into the third period. That's the first shot on goal that Joey Costanzo has seen. That is the issue here for the Spirit in period 3. The Spitfires have done well to kind of lock things down. Face off to the right of Costanzo. Harmer wins it back. Kluche has his stick lifted by Woodall. They move the puck back to the neutral zone. Levi Harper for James Go up the near side again. Brody Popoy tosses it back in behind Costanzo. Dropped off for his defenseman. Up the boards, Caden Harvey goes off his skate. Brody Popoy on it at the hash mark for Saginaw. James Go cross ice. Levi Harper turns around and sends it back down low for Carson Harmer. Off the outside of the goal, Carson Woodall rolls this one away from Jacob Kluche, and then it's Games up the right side. Tossed back in for Caleb Papineau again in behind the Spirit net. Look out, Fan on that chance to move it around. Games puts it down into the right pad of Papineau from a very sharp angle. Jacob Kluche on this back out to center. Puck does trickle over for Carson Harmer. He's closed off by Carter Hicks, and Harmer dropped his stick. So the Spitfires move it back up to center again. Carson Harmer. Back for Josh Glavin. 7 minutes gone in the third period. Ethan Belchez's second goal of the night is the only goal here in this period. And it's given Windsor some breathing room here. As the puck back and behind their net. Gotten up to Cole Davis. Stick check by Sebastian Gervais. Spitfires get it out. Games. But then Gervais tosses back for Glavin up the near side. Levi Harper cutting to the middle, looking there for Jensen Geldart. That pass doesn't connect. Back underneath it goes. Back Sultan McKeish. Skates this one back to neutral ice here for the Spitfires. Throws it back in behind Papineau again. Little trouble as he goes to play that puck. Put onto the stick of Nesbitt. He gets high stick there by Levi Harper, and that'll be a penalty. Second high-sticking penalty of the period for Levi Harper. 12:21 left in the third period. Saginaw back to the PK. Things going a little sideways in the third. They can recover. We're back for the Saginaw penalty kill in a moment here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
Independent Bank is proud to be the corporate sponsor of your Saginaw Spirit. We've been banking in Michigan for 160 years and have always put our customers and communities first. We pride ourselves on being a full-service bank, offering an exceptional banking experience for personal, small business, and commercial banking customers, helping them to achieve financial independence. Be a game changer. Be independent. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Carson Armour, and you're listening to Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 WSGW.
Just inside our first media timeout here of the third period. A 3-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires and a chance to add to it here. Levi Harper is in the penalty box for his second high-sticking penalty of the period. Good news, this one just a minor as well. No double minor, no blood drawn on Jack Nesbitt. 12:21 to go in the third. It's not getting any easier, and Saginaw spending too much time in the penalty box here. Nesbitt's out to take this face-off between Cristoforo and Cole Davis. Carson Woodall and Ethan Belchez. 2 goals in this game already. Woodall's going to send that one into traffic, tipped in by Nesbitt. Power play goal for the Windsor Spitfires. It only took 6 seconds. They're up 4-0. Now the Spitfires do there what the Spirit have been wanting and trying to do for this game so far, and that's just get pucks through traffic. A lot of shots have just tipped in off of bodies and gone wide, unable to make their way towards the Spirit, unable to make their way towards the Spitfire goaltender Costanzo. This one is the opposite of that. Face-off win for Windsor. Point shot gets through, a little deflection from Nesbitt between the legs of Caleb Papineau. And Nesbitt's 11th of the season makes it 4-0. This puck goes up and into the bench. And we get a stoppage here. Face-off's going to come in the neutral zone. And I bet that Jack Nesbitt doesn't feel too bad about taking a stick up high after he was able to bury the power play goal. First goal against the Spirit in 5 games this season. Nesbitt famously spoiled Saginaw's Memorial Cup banner raising a couple of years ago, as this is down for another icing, as he scored the overtime winner in that game. This puck comes all the way back down into Spirit real estate. 12:01 here in the third period. 4-0 lead for the Windsor Spitfires. And Nesbitt to take the draw with Belchez lined up behind him. Belchez has not struggled to score against the Spirit this year. Tied with Liam Greentree now with 4 goals against Saginaw for the team lead. 7 points now in just 5 games for Belchez against Saginaw. The Spirit do get this puck out to center ice. Off the face-off, Barabanov into the offensive zone, pushes it wide. They're just now reading the Harper penalty in the building. The power play goal's already found the back of the net about it. Wyatt Kennedy gets this out from behind the Spitfire net. James Gull back down off the wall. Kennedy holds off Zhilkin. Klepov there in the corner for the Spirit. Can't move the puck back in front. Klepov moving up high now, rotating, given back to him by Graydon Jones. Klepov knocked down high in the zone by Nesbitt. Going to be a breakaway. Belchez for the chance at the hat trick. Fought off by Papineau. The rebound rolls just wide of the far goalpost. Great save by Papineau. The rebound spills back in front again. Another loose puck by Belchez. That one shot off the skate of Zhilkin. Klepov back into the offensive end. Has Walton all over him. He's tossed into the wall and hauled down. Spitfires have this. It's Kennedy. Forechecking here by Carson Harmer. Lost his stick. Kennedy's on this puck still. 9 minutes gone in the third period. And some time for the Spitfires to take a collective breath. Ethan Garden tosses a rolling puck in on Caleb Papineau, who gloves it and hangs on for a faceoff here with 10:44 left in regulation. Ethan Belchez. Another chance, not once but twice, for the hat trick. Here up 4-0. First on the breakaway, Caleb Papineau's had to stop Belchez on 2 breakaways here in this game. And the rebound chance, I think Dina Zhilkin ends up making the skate save from right in between the hash marks, in between the face-off circles. Prime real estate there. Good save by Zhilkin. Spitfires win an offensive zone face-off. Back to Robinson, and a point shot fought off by the pads of Papineau. Jacob Kluche takes a shoulder up high. Little return whack on the skates for Davis. Levi Harper, a hit on the far wall, and this one's picked up by Brody Papoy. Tries to bowl over his man Davis through center. Robinson on the takeover. This one goes off of Beck-Sultan McKeach, and he rips one towards the Saginaw net. That's a glove save on Caleb Papineau. 10-19 here in this third period. And more stopping than starting recently. Carson Woodall has the lone goal on the power play marker from or the lone assist rather, on the power play marker from Jack Nesbitt. It's made it a 4-0 game here. And again, we mentioned that overtime spoiler for Jack Nesbitt last year. As we got a little bit more off the face-off here. McLaughlin tied up with Sebastian Gervais. Josh Glavin pointing to one of the Spitfires as there was some stick work involved prior to the draw. Carter Hicks out of the corner. Sharp angle try. The Spitfires do set up shop here in the offensive end off the face-off. J.C. Lemieux can't keep it alive. Sebastian Gervais sees this out to center ice with Nick Sema. Carter Hicks is there. Sema rolling puck, settles it down in the left circle. Can't get a shot away. Now Gervais rims it back up. Right point. Saginaw's in the offensive end. Barch down low. Gervais pulls it off the boards. Back up to the top of the zone. Rolls it back underneath. Hayden Barch and Jensen Geldar are locked up with Spitfires. Hicks is drilled by a heavy shoulder from Nick Sema. And Sema throws another hit on another Spitfire that rolls a puck free. Now, this is Robinson, though, on the loose puck. Back in behind the Windsor net. 9:30 to go. Here in regulation, 4-0 Spitfires. Harvey trying to cruise through the Spirit defenders. He ends up in the corner instead. Dima Zhilkin on this puck for the Spirit. Guided back up through center ice. Nikita Klepov throws it to the left circle. Right back in front. All alone is Zhilkin, and it rolled off the toe of his stick. A great feed from Gervais to Zhilkin. That's just the way this game has gone for Saginaw. Carson Woodall leads the counterattack back in with Belchez heading right to the net. Good defensive stick at the last second there. Levi Harper got that off the tape of Windsor's most dangerous scorer. Spirit clear this puck back up to neutral ice. Wyatt Kennedy on it at his own goal line. Klepov forechecking. Really an opportunity for Dima Zhilkin. Belchez is knocked down by James Go as he picks this puck up. Wyatt Kennedy reels it back in at his own blue line. Woodall ran back up. Deflected back in by Cristoforo. 8.5 to go in the third period. 4-0 Spitfires here. As the Spirit turn it over. Garden down the right wing in the offensive zone for Windsor. Cristoforo on the bottom of the circle. Throws a sharp angle try that rides the glass all the way back out to center ice. Brody Papoy's had his stick stolen. He's got to make a play here on this with his skates. He's just going to soccer it back here to James Go. Good work by Papoy to make something out of nothing there. As Levi Harper brings his puck into the offensive end, he gets stopped up by Wyatt Kennedy. Walton rimmed it back up the boards. Kennedy hit by Cloutier. Connor Walton back up for Davis. Spitfires up through center ice. Tipped it back in. This is Levi Harper back in behind Caleb Papineau. 7:45 left. Third period. Levi Harper gets tied up. Move the puck, though, to Jacob Cloutier. Weaves his way into the offensive end. The return pass looking for Carson Harmer doesn't connect. Spitfires are back down below their own goal line. They take over, and they flip this puck back out to center ice. Pocket picked at the Spirit blue line here by Jacob Cloutier. Darts across, backhands it in. Carson Woodall braces for contact against Sebastian Gervais. John McLaughlin. Give and go through center ice. He started the scoring off here in this game late in the first period. He's going to see this puck roll off his stick. Back in behind the Saginaw net here. Hayden Harvey had it stolen, and now this is Sebastian Gervais up the right side. The Spitfires are cleaned out. A penalty coming here against Nick Seema on Carter Hicks. For a hit on Carter Hicks, to be clear. And it is a tripping call. 6:50 left in regulation. And Saginaw do now their third Stormmaster Exteriors penalty kill in the game. Seema on the trip. He's going to let the official hear it a little bit. It looked to me as it could have been skates coming together on a check. But the offended party was taken down. Nick Seema's in the box for tripping. And so Saginaw, another Stormmaster Exteriors penalty kill to work with here. And a power play goal would all just put things away here for the Spitfires. Saginaw 3 shorthanded goals in the season so far, though. Belchez out on the ice here looking for the HT. Carson Woodall back into the right circle. Now Davis waits and moves around Barabanov, takes a shot that goes high into the glass. Up off the boards, Belchez now the left point. This is Woodall, fires a shot. Goes off a leg, wide out to center. Diving play from Cristoforo keeps it out of too much danger, but Dimas Yilkin is in down the left side. Softly to the corner. Takes a couple of bodies with him. Belchez and Cristoforo. Igor Barabanov wants to keep this puck back in below the goal line. Trying to nurse a penalty there. One of the Spitfires flopped down onto the ice. It was Nesbitt. Looking to pick up a tripping penalty. He won't get one. This is thrown back in by Hayden Barch. 50 seconds gone on the Nick Seema tripping penalty. Woodall carves his way into the offensive zone for Windsor. Gives it back. Lemieux coming right down the slot. Knocked away by Saginaw's Carson Harmer. Taken and now skated up the center ice by Nikita Klepov. Between his own legs, surrounded by white jerseys. Hangs onto the puck in the offensive zone. Thought about going back up to the blue line. Kept it going. Klepov trying to dance through the entire team. It's finally taken away by the Spitfires. And now they've got 3 against 1 back into the offensive end. And a good defensive stick by James Go on the back pressure. Gets it out of danger, not once but twice. Go clears it down the length of the ice. 34 seconds left on the Seema penalty. Robinson drops it off in the neutral zone here for the Spitfires. Caden Harvey in over the offensive line. 20 seconds on the Seema penalty. Another active stick there by James Go, and Igor Barabanov will clear it down the length of the ice. Joey Costanzo to drop it off back behind his net. Robinson there. Given back over to Wyatt Kennedy. Returned by Games. Runs into Hayden Barch. Penalty time expires. Nick Seema's out of the box. Spirit have killed it off. Spitfires 1 for 3 on the power play. Nick Seema snaps a shot. That goes off a stick and into the net. 4:42 left in the third period. 4-0 Windsor. We're back to close things out here at the WFCU Center on the other side of this break here in your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
It takes each of us to make Saginaw a place we're proud to call home. Since 1984, Saginaw Community Foundation has helped build and strengthen Saginaw County by bringing together people and resources to make a difference. We're a one-stop shop for giving, building endowments, grant-making, and community leadership. Visit SaginawFoundation.org today to learn more about how you can help support your community. Saginaw Community Foundation, building a flourishing community for all, for good, forever.
Soar with us. Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Back inside the WFCU Center. 4-0 for the home team. A loud building. Saginaw just killed off their second out of 3 Scoremaster exterior penalty kills, but they trail 4-0, so Caleb Papineau just makes his way over to the Spirit bench now. 6 attackers against 5 here for Saginaw. Just inside 5 minutes remaining. So it would take some luck, but it's been done. Dima Zilkin. The faceoff is in the left wing circle of the Windsor zone. Zilkin is lined up on the near side wall, all the way back up at the blue line, hoping everybody just forgets about it. Sebastian Gervais to take the faceoff against Jack Nesbitt. And a false drop here. And an earful from the linesman Phil Nadeau. As Brody Papoy and one of the Windsor wingers, Belchez, are being separated right now. Having a conversation. Nesbitt and Gervais again for this faceoff. Puck is down. One back. Papoy taps it there to Barabanov. And now a penalty's upcoming. Something happened between Papoy and Walton. There was a groan from the crowd while the Spirit had the puck. Papoy for a high stick, and Walton's picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. They continue to yip at one another in the penalty box. So it could be an instance of embellishment. 4:39 here in regulation. We go to 4 against 4 for the first time tonight. This afternoon, rather. So the faceoff's going to stay in the offensive zone. Caleb Papineau had been sent back to the goal, but back to the bench he comes again. So Papoy for a high stick. Walton likely for embellishment. Unsportsmanlike conduct. That was the hand signal from the referee. So 5 against 4 with the empty netter, with the empty net for the Spirit. Nesbitt against Gervais, and Gervais won the faceoff. We have to drop it again. We're late in the game here. Faceoffs were going so well for so long. Nesbitt against Gervais, part 2, far side circle. Nobody pulls it away. Now finally it's Woodall, rimmed around to the near side. Kept alive by Nikita Klepov. Davis is there to spin him around. Gervais tries to keep things going. Sema over the far side. Zilkin, now Barabanov. 5 against 4 for the Spirit with their net empty. Here comes Barabanov creeping in, shooting off a body. Zilkin to the net there. That one kicked out by the left skate of Costanzo. Barabanov, 4:15 to go in regulation. Spirit trail 4-0. Klepov back up high. Igor Barabanov. Far circle. Zilkin right to the middle. Gervais can't get a clean shot off. Klepov has it poked away now. Nesbitt breaking back up the left side. Throws it over. Davis dusts it off. Puts it home. Into the empty net it goes. 4 minutes left in regulation. And Cole Davis makes it a 5-0 hockey game. Fourteenth goal of the season for Cole Davis. And for the Spirit, decent looks on the man advantage, technically a man advantage. With the goaltender pulled at 5 against 4. But the opportunities are really drying up for them here in this third period. Outshot Windsor 14-8 in the second. Saginaw's only managed 2 shots on goal here in the third. And that is one of the reasons why Windsor has been tabbed as one of the teams to potentially walk out of the Western Conference this year. We approach the January 9th trade deadline. The Spitfires are rumored to have some trade targets in mind. And of course, that's one of the best parts of the year, is all the trade rumors from across the OHL. 3:44 left in regulation. 5-0 Windsor. There's already been some great movement. The trade freeze lifted, and everybody got back and started playing games again on December the 28th. And we saw some moves. Logan Howry from London to Sarnia. Kevin He is a Flint Firebird. Reagan Jones turning this one back in behind the Windsor goal now off the draw. Clock off the far side boards. James Go gives it back to Jacob Kluche. Then Graydon Jones back in towards the middle. That misses everybody. Carson Harmer just inside the offensive line. Turning down, and the backhanded shot is blocked by Bell. Just kicking it out, though. Harmer there. Up to the point. Shot by Kluche. Chips wide. Graydon Jones down low in the corner against Carter Hicks. The defensemen are down in that left wing corner for the Saginaw Spirit. In the offensive zone, as we are continuing things at 4-on-4 here. Brody Popoy and Connor Walton are in the penalty boxes. Finally, the puck comes out of the far side corner of the Windsor zone. Garden tries to get it off the boards. Jacob Kluche, the last man back, turns and spins this one over in the neutral zone here for Graydon Jones. Knocked down by the stick of James Go. J.C. Lemieux. Flip back out. Walton. Out of the box. Darts into the Spirit end. 2.5 left in regulation. 5 against 5 is Saginaw. They just want to break through once here. Here comes Popoy into the offensive zone. Shifting back against Costello. Popoy on the near side. Stops again. Back to the top of the zone he goes. Trying to drop it off past Lemieux. Barch jams up Costello. Spitfires have it. Lemieux, the last man to beat being Barnes. Right back in front. They score. Caden Harvey. 2-on-1 up over the shoulder of Papineau, and it's 6-0. Well, there was maybe the potential for an offensive explosion here in the third period. Jonathan and I discussed that during the second intermission, but the discussion wasn't on the Windsor side of things. They've got 4 unanswered goals here in the third. They got 6 unanswered goals in the hockey game, but 4 of them have come here in the third period. Any hope for Saginaw just continues to be snuffed out here as we get closer to the final horn. Might see some theatrics here at the end. We'll see. Spirit have been feeling good about their 3-game win streak. That's going to come to a close here. We'll see if they try to take some of their frustrations out on the Spitfires as Windsor goes to work in the offensive zone. They'd like another one. Saginaw will do whatever they can to not give them another one. This puck back up in the neutral zone again. Nick Seema over the offensive line, tries to roll through Robinson, can't do it. Back down in behind the goal of Papineau. Costello there with Graydon Jones. Lock up in the corner. Somebody's without a helmet. It's Graydon Jones. He's got to make his way back to the Spirit bench. Barnes comes on for him. A pad save made by Papineau in all the chaos. Saginaw essentially shorthanded for the moment that Jones goes back to get a replacement. This is Hicks. Down underneath the net of Caleb Papineau. Jensen Gellert there for the Spirit. Up around it comes here. This is Carter Hicks again. Jacob Kluche. Hit there as this goes up and out of play. Off of a body. 53.4 to go, and here is a little bit of the frustration coming to a head as J.C. Lemieux and Josh Glavin look to be in the midst of things. Both will have a seat here. 53.4 seconds left in this one. Lemieux and Glavin to sit down. Offsetting roughing penalties. So it wasn't too busy of a night until the third period for Ryan Hutchison as he works his final game in the Ontario Hockey League. As Glavin and Lemieux go from the penalty box back down to the dressing room. Separate dressing rooms, of course. More fist bumps for Lemieux on the way back down the tunnel. Nothing for Glavin. As Glavin continues to stand on the Saginaw bench. He's got his palms up in the air. As the scorer's table needs a little bit more of an explanation. Glavin doesn't know where he's supposed to go here. 5 against 4, 4 against 4. Everybody's holding up conflicting hands here. Looks like 4 on 4 here for the final 53 and some change in this game. Josh Glavin and J.C. Lemieux have picked up penalties. Glavin is still on the Saginaw bench. As long as he doesn't hop into the play, I'm sure everything's all right that way. He's just going to watch from the tunnel here. As the puck goes back in behind the net of Joey Costanzo. And up the far side wall, the Spitfires trying to work this back into Spirit real estate. Uri Rauja down the right side. Taken away. Liam Storch trying to pick the pocket of Beck-Sultan McKeish. Off the boards. This is Blake Barnes back in the Spirit end. Up for Uri Rauja. Well, they had been celebrating Joey Costanzo for passing the all-time wins record here in Windsor. He was busier in the first 2 periods than in the third. He's going to pick up his 4th shutout of the season. 24 saves for Joey Costanzo and a 6-0 victory for the Windsor Spitfires. Things were closer in the first 2 periods. They got a little lopsided in period 3. Very good Windsor Spitfire Hockey Club, and Saginaw just did not have the offensive answer, and they are shut out for the first time this year. And the 3-game winning streak, well, that's all it's going to be. Both teams come over to give handshakes and congratulations to Ryan Hutchison. Windsor native Sebastian Gervais leads that from the Spirit side of things. Great to see, and again, after a difficult night here on the Saginaw side of things, that they are out on the ice to give a handshake to Ryan Hutchison. And again, you can say what you want about a Windsor native and a guy that grew up going to Windsor Spitfire hockey games, refereeing a game in Windsor. He's a pro. You can set that aside. As the Spitfires in Spirit say one final thank you and congratulations for Ryan Hutchison on a job well done, a career well done in the black and white here for the Ontario Hockey League. We'll send you to a break. 6-0 the final score. Windsor Spitfires over the Saginaw Spirit. We're back with postgame here on your home for Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
From the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, Corning's technologies push the boundaries of what's possible. We're the world's leading innovator in glass and ceramic science, and we're innovating right here in Michigan. Corning's solar wafer site in Hemlock is helping guarantee American energy security. We're investing in our local Michigan communities. That's why Corning is a proud sponsor of the Saginaw Spirit. Learn more about Corning today at corning.com.
At Garber Chevy Chesaning, better means you get it all. Better prices, better selection, and better service. Our factory-trained technicians keep your vehicle in top condition. We have everything your vehicle needs, even tires. Come see us at Garber Chevy Chesaning and see how you can get it all. At the corner of M52 and M57, online at garberchesaning.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
When you go Great Lakes Bay in Michigan, lose yourself in nature and find yourself at peace. Soak up the stillness of winter on glistening trails, or glide along an outdoor ice rink. Take charming carriage rides through snowy streets. Embrace the magic of the season and warm up with comfort food and handcrafted beverages. There are moments of pure greatness all around if we linger long enough to soak them in. Find yours at gogreat.com.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Well, We talked about there being the possibility of a lot of goals here in the third period, but they all came from Windsor as we take a look back at our third period, brought to you by Raymond. Empower your purpose. It was 2-0 for the Spits coming into this final frame. Only a minute 35 in. They got their first power play of the afternoon. Levi Harper sits for high sticking. Saginaw's defense was able to keep things cleared. Papineau stopped a couple of lower danger looks to kill that one off, but 4 minutes 32 seconds. Ethan Belchez wins a faceoff in the Spirit end and right away fires a shot top shelf and in to make it 3-0.
Jack Nesbitt gets waved out. Now it's Belchez. Shoots and scores right off the face-off. Are you kidding me? It was off the tie-up. And before anybody could blink, Belchez turns around and whips it over the shoulder of Caleb Papineau. That was ridiculous.
Another high-sticking penalty on Harper. 7 minutes 39 seconds puts the Spits back up a man. And off the tie-up, Carson Woodall takes a shot from the blue line. Jack Nesbitt gets a tip on it to make it 4-0.
2 goals in this game already. Woodall's going to send that one into traffic, tipped in by Nesbitt. Power play goal for the Windsor Spitfires. It only took 6 seconds. They're up 4-0.
Belchez breaks in alone, looking for the hat trick soon after, but Papineau gets the stick on his shot, and a blocked shot by Zhilkin after that sees off that little rush.
That ball knocked down high in the zone by Nesbitt. Going to be a breakaway. Belchez with a chance at the hat trick, fought off by Papineau. The rebound rolls just wide of the far goalpost. Great save by Papineau. The rebound spills back in front again. Another loose puck by Belchez. That one shot off the skate of Zhilkin.
Saginaw kills off a Nick Sema tripping penalty, and with about 5 minutes remaining, Papineau is pulled for the extra man. It quickly turns to 5-on-4 with the empty net after some exchanged penalties, and 16 minutes into the third, Jack Nesbitt feeds Cole Davis for the empty net goal, making it 5-0. 4-on-4 expires, and with just over 2 minutes remaining, the Spitfires break out. The drop pass from J.C. Lemieux to Caden Harvey sets him up to make it 6-0.
Spitfires have it. Lemieux, the last man to beat, being Barnes, right back in front. They score. Caden Harvey, 2-on-1 up over the shoulder of Papineau, and it's 6-0.
6-0 the score. Shots on goal in the third favored the Spitfires 11-2, a game total of 32-24. The Spits, the lone power play goal, 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Saginaw 0 for 1. Scoring in the third, Ethan Belchez unassisted. Jack Nesbitt assisted by Woodall on the power play. Then a shorthanded goal. I don't think that should be shorthanded. Cole Davis assisted by Nesbitt and Woodall because it was on the empty net. Caden Harvey assisted by Lemieux and Costello as well to close that one out. Got one more highlight for you. It's our My Michigan Health save of the game. Caleb Papineau, 26 saves here tonight. Many of them very, very difficult ones to make. None more than this one, shutting down Ethan Belchez. Well, it was still scoreless. His first breakaway in after blocking a shot. Papineau closes the pads to keep it scoreless late in the first period.
Blake Barnes, the shot blocked by Belchez. Rebound chance. Now it is a home run pass onto the tape of Belchez. Alone against Papineau, and the Spirit netminder makes the save.
Our save of the game brought to you by My Michigan Health. Time to take one more look at our out-of-town scores presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. We've got some more games started here in the Ontario Hockey League. The Kitchener Rangers took a 4-2 win over the North Bay Battalion earlier on. The Kingston Frontenacs gather 3 goals in the third period to take a 5-3 win over the visiting Guelph Storm. It's a 1-1 tie closing out the first period between the London Knights and Sarnia Sting. And right now, heading into the second, the Flint Firebirds hold a 1-0 lead over the Sioux Greyhounds. A little bit later, the Brantford Bulldogs visit the Erie Otters. The Oshawa Generals take on the Niagara Ice Dogs, and the Barrie Colts host the Sudbury Wolves here on a New Year's Eve. Also in NHL action, the Winnipeg Jets visiting the Detroit Red Wings. That game will be broadcast here on 100.5 FM beginning at 6:15 if you want to stick around a little bit for that later. That's all we've got for you here in the studio. We'll send you back now to the Town Place Suites by Marriott broadcast booth and Dylan Clark for our Applebee's 3 stars of the game.
Thanks, Jonathan. Tough one to go out here on the final game of 2025. The Spirit shut out for the first time since December of 2024. They fell 2-0 at the hands of the Sioux Greyhounds on home ice. But this time, instead of Landon Miller, it's Joey Costanzo mopping things up in the goal crease for the Windsor Spitfires. Jack Nesbitt's your third star of the game, goal and an assist, as he would put things kind of out of reach with a power play goal to make it 4-0. Joey Costanzo, second star of the game, 24-save shutout, his fourth of the season. Ethan Belchez had 2 goals in this hockey game. The insurance goal and kind of the backbreaker. He came out with that spin-around goal. You heard Jonathan play the replay. Right off the face-off at the start of the third period, it was one that you had to blink to make sure that you were processing it the right way. Just turned around a puck in his skates, fired it right over the shoulder of Caleb Papineau, and when one like that goes in, it's tough to kind of put the pieces back together, and that would open up the floodgates. 6-0 here. There's your 3 stars of the game brought to you by Applebee's. Saginaw back in action with 2 more games this weekend. Your Applied Innovation look ahead. Saturday, January the 3rd. First game of the new year. Clean slate here for the Spirit. They started on home ice against the aforementioned Sioux Greyhounds. It's our Corteva food drive. Bring 5 non-perishable goods, and you're automatically invented. You're automatically entered into a draw to win a signed Saginaw Spirit jersey. Goes to a number of great causes. Eastside Soup Kitchen. So many great local organizations helping to feed those in the region. So you're not limited to 5, that's for sure. We'll be hoping to see everybody with the cans and the boxes and the paper goods and all that coming up on Saturday at the Dow Event Center. 7:05 puck drop against the Sioux Greyhounds. 5:30 on Sunday against the Brampton Steelheads. That is Go Gus Go night. We are promoting awareness of Angelman syndrome, a rare neurological disorder affecting young children, and a young man in particular named Gus who has served as an inspiration here in the community. So Go Gus Go night coming up on Sunday, 5:30 puck drop. We'll be live on WNEM TV 5 on Saturday as well. Would be remiss if we did not mention that, as well as right here on 100.5 FM WSGW. And, of course, as always, on Flow Hockey. And then it's a couple of more games as we get more into January. But this weekend, we'll narrow the Applied Innovation look ahead to just the next 2. Saturday against the Sioux, Sunday against the Brampton Steelheads. That's the end of a busy start to the second half of the year for Saginaw. 5 games in 8 days here coming out of the holiday break. 6-0 the final score here tonight. Saginaw now 12-17-3-4 on the year. They stand pat at 31 points on the season. 8th place in the OHL's Western Conference at the moment. Windsor, 23 victories coming into tonight's game, 24 now as they look to remain among the elite in the West. For Jonathan back in the studio, all that he's done, we thank you for listening today and every day of 2025. We wish you and your family a very happy and healthy new year. My name's Dylan Clark. Good night, Saginaw. Happy New Year.
You've been listening to Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW. Spirit Hockey is brought to you in part by Garber Automotive Group, Saginaw Valley State University, Dow, Frankenmuth Insurance, Saginaw Bay Underwriters, NetSource One, Delta College, Corning, Go Great Lakes Bay, Herman Hisson Company, Frankenmuth Convention and Visitors Bureau, DML Property Management, My Michigan Health, Independent Bank, Buffalo Wild Wings, Stormmaster Exteriors, IBEW Local 557, Michigan Sugar Company, Jets Pizza, Raymond, the Great Lakes Loons, Applebee's, Stanley Steamer, your local State Farm agents, and Meyer. All season long, the Spirit play on WSGW 100.5 FM and online WSGW.com. We now return to regular programming on WSGW.